Hey, everybody. Welcome to a bonus episode of Funbearable. I am here. I'm Chuck Staten. We're on Zoom. It's me and Mr.
Brad Rohr.
And Mrs.
Ray Harrington. Wait.
Wait.
That's Ms. Harrington.
I'm not taking.
I didn't want to tell you guys. I got a divorce.
But we're posting a bonus episode because, you know, this week we're doing a Zoom episode because we kind of had that scheduling snafu and we got to get ready before Ray left for Alaska. And we thought as a fun little bonus, you know, we just did our DC crossovers Pitch Doctors episode.
Mine was great.
And a long time ago, Ray came on the Chuck and Brad podcast and we did a similar episode, and it was Pitch Doctors Spider-Man No Way Home. And we talked about our pitches for the movie Spider-Man No Way Home. So we said, hey, we just did it for DC. Let's throw our Marvel one on the feed. And you know, maybe you've listened to this and you can give it a re-listen and enjoy it. Or maybe you're listening for the first time, but I think you're going to have a lot of fun with it.
It was a good time to record. Definitely didn't start off on a weird tangent and continue on a different weird tangent before getting to the Spider-Man stuff. Definitely just 100% Spider-Man all the time.
See, I like to think of it more as an episode about circumcision that we happen to talk about Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think Spider-Man got in the way of our circumcision
That
conversation.
suit is tight. It's too tight.
You can tell.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was listening back to it and I only listened up to the part where my pitch starts, like the first 10% of mine. And I'm going on this huge tirade about this egg salad sandwich that I'm eating in the movie that's so good. And I'm ignoring all the Spider-Man stuff. And I'm like, oh, yeah, this is good stuff.
I hate it. I hate egg salad.
And just to be clear, when you do listen to this bonus episode, listener, we recorded this well ahead of any of the stuff that happened. And so Brad's joke storyline in his isn't inappropriate because we didn't know that.
Yeah, no idea what would have happened in the world by the time this came out. So
who could have foreseen?
Yeah, there's a lot to apologize for.
Yes.
Oh, somebody's shooting off fireworks right near my house.
I thought that was a joke about what joke I made. And I'm like,
No,
all right, I
there's
guess I made jokes about the Russian Ukraine war, and Ray's doing.
I grew up in Maine where fireworks were illegal at the time, and you had to go to New Hampshire to get fireworks. Now I live in Rhode Island, and Rhode Island, fireworks are legal. You can get them at any fucking parking lot, and people in Rhode Island in this state are just like, I guess we shoot off fireworks from June 12th to September 9th.
It's more like December 23rd.
Yeah.
Yes. Everything. And it's like, oh, great. I'm in Fallujah. This is fun.
Well, can we pull back the curtain? This was Ray's idea because it's the week of 4th of July.
Yeah, this is all a CD that I have. You know,
no, he made us Venmo him money to buy fireworks
Yes.
to do this bit.
Yeah. I'm deaf in my left ear now.
Worth it for the joke.
Yep.
All right, well, I got to go put a Thunder shirt on my family. And
Well, folks, thank you all for tuning into our bonus episode.
I gotta go put a down payment on my fireworks booth for the summer and fall.
I'm from Indiana. The state infrastructure is mainly fireworks. Bridges, roads, schools, all fireworks.
And by the way, Brad means that everything is made out of
fireworks. Yeah.
yeah.
So no open flames, please.
Yes.
Good stuff, guys.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for listening. We appreciate you.
Yeah, enjoy the episode.
Kaboom. All right, I'm gonna go, guys, but I'll talk to you soon.
Have a good trip.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you later.
Woo.
All right.
Bye. I'm comedian, writer, and filmmaker Chuck Staten from the punk band Senior Discount.
And I'm writer and comedian Brad Rohr from the Providence Improv Guild.
And this is the Chuck and Brad Podcast.
Hello and welcome to episode 566 of the Chuck and Brad podcast.
I'm Chuck.
I'm Brad.
Oh boy, do we have a special guest back. How long has it been since you've been here, Mr. Ray Harrington?
I like the pause, like you were just reading it.
I love it. I love it, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a while.
I think it's been a while. It's been a little while. I mean, I had some surgical issues, and it's been touch and go in terms of.
And how is your foreskin? Because you got that caught, right?
Yeah. I always wondered about the whole
which was weird.
The circumcision thing. Can I tell you a thing about circumcision?
Oh boy, what are we? 15 seconds?
We are off the rails immediately. We don't even see the rails.
Here's my thing with circumcision. What's the deal with circumcision?
All right, we all know what it is in general. They cut your foreskin off. Yeah. You're circumcised?
Sure. Yeah. Oh,
come on. Let's skip all the pleasantries. You're circumcised.
I'm circumcised.
How do you say it?
Yes, I am circumcised.
Brad, you go to the circum?
Cut.
Yeah, I think I'm circumless.
Okay. See. Here's the thing. No.
I'm just kidding.
No, you can't be. You can't be absent of. That would be insane.
That'd be crazy.
You got to have that little.
So you're circumcised,
turtleneck
right?
thing on.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Now, I've seen a uncircumcised dick in like porn or something. Aren't you kind of curious to watch a circumcision and see what they cut off?
No.
I want to know. I want to know.
Because I associate it with babies, so I'm okay.
Well, how old? Remember we knew a guy who was like, this is true. Do you remember this fact?
I do not.
Ryan, we knew a guy who was like, man, not looking forward to it. We're like, what? He's like, next week I'm getting circumcised. It's true. He was an adult man.
Was he converting?
Why did that happen to him?
I don't know.
Do you remember that? Though?
He was not converting.
Do you remember that though?
Yeah.
Hey,
Vaguely.
sometimes people go into a barbershop and they walk out and they're like, you know what? I just decided it was time for a change. And that's it.
You have to watch it with me. I want to watch a circumcision.
No, I don't have to watch that with you. Are you out of your mind?
I won't
didn't
even watch
see my own son's circumcision.
I won't even watch Dr. Pimple Popper.
I want to know. I want to see. I want to know. I want to see this. The full.
I want to know. I want to see. I want to know. I want to see. That's him getting dragged away from a pediatric unit. I want to know. I want to see. I want to know. We don't know what's going on there. Wouldn't it be weird if you were like a flat earther for circumcision? Like
I don't think he had it to begin with.
Yeah, no, it's not that you're like against it. You don't believe it happens.
I seriously. I mean, is this? I didn't even think about this. I don't know why, even how we started with this, but like you started. Just anyway, I don't.
Who started talking about baby dicks?
I don't. It doesn't have to be babies. I just think about the idea of the man that was born with the whole dick, and then they're like, we had to chop off the top of it, and now that's normal.
I mean, that's not what they do, though.
They chop off the tip of the skins.
Skins? What is it, drum set?
Ray, there are four skins.
Man, that rabbi really knows how to play the skins.
1 skin, 2 skin, 3 skin, 4 skin.
But it is weird. It is weird. Come on, can we talk about how it's weird? Who was like, let's cut that off, and now that's everybody.
God.
That's
God
did?
said it to Abraham.
No, God was like, give him the whole thing, and then someone down here was like, fuck you, Mr. God.
I will say, hold on.
I'm telling you about
boys, separate for a second.
Yes.
I agree with both of you really quickly. The Venn diagram comes together right where I'm sitting because I know biblically, as an atheist, I'm saying this. I know biblically that is the thing.
Yep.
God said to Abraham, yo, you got to cut that thing off your boy.
Yes.
Right? He didn't say it that way.
Said that?
This is how
in the Bible, allegedly.
this is how we show that you are committed to this God and this religion. This is what makes you holy or set apart.
But here's where I agree with Chuck, though.
Yep.
Because it is weird that God, and if you believe, like if you're a literalist with the Bible,
right,
and you believe that God made man, right? And then one day was like, actually, I want you to cut off a little bit of that skin, right? Like that is a weird thing to show devotion. But anyway, that's all weird stuff, religious stuff. It's just a thing. It's a weird part of being a human being, I think, where it's been done for so long. For a long time, there was a like a myth that it was healthier.
Right.
I do think it is technically more hygienic.
Yes,
but
I think
not
so.
enough to be like medically warranted.
Right.
I think
this
that-
is not what I came here to do.
I think, and I'll just put this out there. If I'm wrong, you slap me down. You tell me the truth.
But I know you get off on that.
Listen, female circumcision is like
That's mutilation.
barbaric.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
a real like.
That's because they call it female circumcision, but what it really is cutting off the clitoris, and so that would be like saying, you know, the head of a man's penis is cut off.
I know.
What I mean?
So, you're cutting.
yeah.
Well, you're cutting off is the helmet aspect. I just
No, you're
wanna-
not. No, you're not. You're not cutting off the helmet.
Chuck has
no,
some
no, no.
unique ideas about.
You're cutting off some of the tissue paper, like that the helmet was delivered to you in, but
Oh,
you're not
that's
cutting the
interesting.
helmet. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's just, if you think about it, foreskin's just wrapping paper, baby.
If it was up to you, would you keep the foreskin? Give you a couple extra inches?
Well, here's the thing. At this table, I am the only person that can say I had to make the choice for my son.
Wow.
When my son was born, they were like,
I mean,
so,
we cast our votes in that.
That was a great Instagram story poll.
oh, I thought it was just in a hat.
It's 3 votes in here.
Wow, this one just says make it a fun shape. That's weird. No, so I had to make the decision, and I really did wrestle with it. Of like, here's what happened: my animal brain and my logical brain fought each other.
Yeah, for sure.
Because my logical brain was like, this is a tradition that we do.
Right.
And I don't want to perpetuate a tradition. But then my animal brain was just like, but my boy's wiener's got to look like daddy's wiener. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And that's
yeah,
what
yeah.
happened. And so we made the decision. And thankfully, I knew he had a huge dick. So
Well,
it was going to be
like
fun.
his father.
Hey, you know?
It's weird to me and it's gross to me. And when you have like an erect penis as a man with foreskin, I'm just thinking
What
about
are we
this.
doing here
When
today?
you have an erect penis,
I've never had one.
and
Do you know I would believe you?
yeah, I would believe you too. I would believe it too. Well, when we did a video series with my band, the Senior Discount videos, the band of Senior Discount. And we did a fictionalized version of the band and like an extreme version of Brad named Bradley Stevenson, who was like even more conservative and whatever.
Yeah.
And there was going to be a running joke that we came up with that he's never seen his own penis.
Yeah.
He's never looked at it.
I like that. I
Which
like
is
that.
great,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
But that's one of the things I think about when you get an erection. It looks regular, right? Like if you have foreskin,
Define regular.
it looks. You can't tell if it's circumcised or not.
No, I believe
Really?
I don't know.
I think it comes out. I think it's out.
Think an uncircumcised. Why are we doing? I think an uncircumcised penis when it is erect.
Yes.
I think you can tell.
I just assume they all look like Japanese characters, like script.
Oh, I thought you
Just
meant like
different letters.
some
Yes,
weird
yes, like
hentai
Sailor Moon.
thing, and it's like
Yes.
tentacles. And shit.
Yes.
I don't know. For some reason, when you're around, I get inquisitive. But
About dicks?
Yeah, about everything.
I think we
the
need
whole
to.
world.
Let's drill down into this.
Let's. You know what? We could drill away from it.
I think
probably much more quickly.
I think if we watch pornography with a man that's uncircumcised and a man that's circumcised side by side, you can't tell which one is
Wait, so
circumcised.
you have
So
one
you're
on either
watching
side of you, and you're watching porn with them?
Yes.
That's how you just. That's what it sounded like when. Oh no, you don't have to
kissing
be
back and forth.
kissing. You could just be watching it. You know, just as friends.
My test. I won't look at them, but I'll give them each a little smooch.
Oh, I prefer to think of it as more of a platonic kind of, like a cool hang.
Oh,
Just
boy.
a chill night with,
Yes,
with my boys.
Chuck, I'll let you type out the description for this week's episode.
I can't wait for the listener to be like, "Oh, Spider-Man talk! This is going to be so fun!" And I cut to 30 seconds in, and he's just like, "What about a big raw dick that's been cut?"
I need to know about. I'm gonna go on a science podcast and talk to some real scientists.
Tell you
about
what,
this.
you search
Yeah,
out all the
I'll do
stuff.
that, I'll
do
do
it
it.
on your computer.
And then on Ray Harrington Must Content, we'll do a whole episode about it.
No, we won't do it. No.
That's Ray's podcast. That's all this was a big plug.
Oh,
Ray Harrington
God.
Must Content, everybody.
That's what I refer to my circumcised penis as. All this is just a big plug. That's it. This is a fucked up episode.
All right, here's why Ray's here. Today we're doing one of our, our favorite segments on the Chuck and Brad podcast, Pitch Doctors, where we pitch our own ideas. And because Spider-Man No Way Home is coming out on Blu-ray and digital and home video and all that stuff around this time,
HD DVD,
we're going to say, okay, Pitch Doctors, what if each of us, Chuck, Brad, Ray, were tasked with making a new Spider-Man movie starring the current Spider-Man, Tom Holland, and bringing in the other Spider-Men, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Obviously, we know how they did it in the actual movie Spider-Man No Way Home, but we're going to bring our pitches to the table of how we would do it if it was up to us. So that's Pitch Doctors.
And one
we're
of
here
us
to do
against our will.
Yeah, well, against your will?
Kind of.
Against your will?
Kind of. I mean, you twisted my arm a little bit.
Did I?
Yeah. You were like, hey, do you want to be on the podcast again? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then you told me what it was. And then I was like, I have had to do homework.
like, too late. You already said you'd be on it.
For so many episodes. Like, hey, do you want to be on the podcast? Yeah. Okay. Bring in 6 typed pages. Like, oh, no.
Whatever you want.
Well, I want to do right by the thing. You know what I mean?
Right. It's a fun idea.
I don't want to go off.
I get it.
No pun intended. Half cocked.
Perfect.
That's good.
Perfect.
A whole half?
A whole half.
A whole half. All right, so how do you want to do this? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
That's been our
our
MO.
Really quickly, I just want to kind of bridge the gap here of the insane preamble that we had and the actual topic that we're here for.
Yes.
We've had how many Spider-Man movies now? 8? Is it 8?
It's going to be, there's 3.
Standalone,
2,
just Spider-Man movies. 8, yeah.
I think it's 8, yes.
8 plus the other, him showing up in all the other movies.
Yes, that's right.
We've never gotten a scene where any of the Spider-Men have had to say, you can clearly see my dick in this suit, right? There's never been a conversation of like, how do I hide the outline of my dick?
Gotta have a weird dance belt.
Right? Don't you think that would be a thing?
I could wear like a jockstrap.
Because listen, I'll be honest with you. Like people that have worn a Spider-Man like spandexy suit at things.
Yeah.
You can see their dink.
Yeah.
And I say dink because I saw it at my son's preschool graduation. They had character people come. And one of them was Spider-Man. And Spider-Man was hunched down. He was not. He was kneeling. He was sitting on his heels, right?
Yeah.
Talking to my son. And I looked down and I fully saw the outline of this man's dick.
Circumcised or uncircumcised?
I was too much in shock. And so I had to be like, hey man, when you bend down, you guys are gonna right? And he was like, okay, thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, of course. I mean, this is for preschool children.
Wow, I wouldn't say that. Would you say it? You'd never say it.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm too shy.
Yeah.
Hush, hush.
Yes.
Eye to eye. I was eye to eye with it for sure.
Hey, Spider-Man. I could see your balls.
Yeah, that would be great if somebody in the world of the movie. Like, that guy that pops up in so many things? He's fantastic in Severance. He was in the first Tom Holland Spider-Man, I think. When Spider-Man's out there and he's wearing the suit and stuff, and he's like, hey, it's you, Spider-Man. Do a backflip. That guy, it would have been great if that guy was like, yeah, I can see your dick. And then Tom Holland has to go back to the drawing board. I got to wear a cup every time.
Yes, that's right.
I gotta wear hot pants over. I occasionally think about the pitch meeting segment and also winning the lottery. And I'm like, man, if I won the lottery, I would fund Chuck and Ray
ISIS,
working together to make a comedy film.
Yeah.
And,
okay.
And then I would hire a documentary crew to follow Chuck and Ray.
Yeah.
That's where the real money is.
Yeah.
Watching the
So many
two of
fights.
you. Oh, yeah.
So many fights.
All right.
We come out with the film, and then the documentary comes out, and it's like it's like Through the Darkness is the name of it.
and the,
Laughing through tears.
It's a horrible, horrible ride, right? And into the heart of darkness. And then the movie is just like blink, blank, blunk, blank, wee, zip, woo. And it's just all really fun and light and dumb.
And then so that's the movie, and then it shows the same scene in the darkness. And he goes, cut, and it's like, are you fucking serious?
We spent 4 days in pre-pro on whether or not we were going to cast this guy because he's cut. You said you wanted an uncircumcised actor. I said it was illegal to ask.
You plinked when you should have donked.
Well, he can't donk. He's uncut.
All right. Brad's pitch.
My pitch.
If Brad's in charge of making Spider-Man No Way Home, bringing the Spider-Man universes together, what does Brad do?
Here we go.
To know. Do I need to read for yours or no?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Spider-Man has been unmasked. The whole world knows who he is. Things are a struggle. Peter has returned from his European vacation to find his friendly neighborhood has extended far beyond the boundaries of Queens. No matter what he does, it's never enough for a public that doesn't believe they should be inconvenienced. We see a montage of aggrieved parties. Someone who was mugged on a subway while Spider-Man was preventing a bank robbery. He believes Spider-Man is a capitalist tool. Someone from, like, Albany who's upset that Spider-Man didn't stop a carjacking in Albany. Victims of a pyramid scheme or other white-collar crimes. All of these idiots get interviewed by J. Jonah Jameson and company.
Yes.
What's a spider teen to do? Hang out with MJ, I guess. Peter Parker laments that all he can do still isn't enough. Maybe it's even the same rooftop scene we saw in the actual movie. Essentially, MJ tells Peter that the universe has a way of providing what's needed, and he is what the universe needs.
Ooh, it's like a reverse. It's a reverse Doctor. Oh no, what was his name?
Dr.
Maybe not Doctor. Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park.
Oh, Dr. Malcolm.
Malcolm, yeah. It's like a reverse Dr. Malcolm when
Yes.
he's saying, like, nature finds a way.
Right.
MJ's saying the universe finds a way.
Yes.
Now I just pictured Jeff Goldblum as Mary Jane. Peter, to shoot a web onto that rooftop.
Mystery.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I want to do a Malcolm. I got to think about this.
Kiss me, Peter.
Spider-Man, meanwhile, is dealing with, let's say, Scorpion or Rhino or some, a villain. Doesn't really matter which one. He's not doing well. He doesn't feel strong enough because he's so distracted by all these other things. So he lies to MJ and goes to either Doctor Strange or Mephistopheles, depending on how many new characters we want. And they cast a spell or make a wish so that Spider-Man can serve more people better. The next week or so, another montage, heavy on the montages in this, Spider-Man trying to stop crimes, but not really being necessary. Maybe strangers offer to help somebody whose bike got stolen, or police nab the bad guys before Spider-Man even gets there, stuff like that. J. Jonah Jameson has even moved on to whatever else is important, maybe something sexist about Pepper Potts being in charge of Stark Industries. In any event, Spider-Man no longer feels needed. He talks with MJ and Ned about it, and they ask him, isn't that the point? To get to a world where Spider-Man isn't needed. So Peter Parker agrees to take the night off from Spider-Manning and just be a high school senior. It's a mistake. A villain, Rhino or Scorpion, whoever, has come... a villain has come through an interdimensional portal and wrecks up a business and destroys a building and people are hurt. That's probably where Aunt May dies. Yeah, the old bag kicks the bucket there.
What?
Peter Parker is very sad and mad. He catches Rhino and has really given him the business. Oh no, Doc Ock shows up. Yeah, another villain shows up. Basically 3 villains, and Spider-Man is not doing well against the 3 of them. Enter Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. He helps. Enter Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. They help. They're about even with these bad guys, maybe losing a little bit. A 4th Spider-Man shows up. Spider-Man in the black suit. Very tech heavy. He's got a drone with him. Maybe the drone fires tranquilizer darts at all the villains. The 4 Spider-Man win.
Which black suit is this? Now I'm getting nerdy. I'm getting nerdy. Okay, all right.
And so they're talking afterwards. MJ says, "I told you the universe would give you what you need." Black suit guy doesn't speak. Maybe plays it for comic relief. A high five.
Tom Holland quietly whispers, "I also need $1 million in a blowjob," just to see it, just testing his universe.
And then he looks over at Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum shows up. He's putting on the
can't do
lipstick
much
that he
about
had
the money.
in Guardians. Or no, Thor Ragnarok.
To better serve the public.
I heard your wish, and I have to tell you, I don't have $1 million.
However,
I have I have a concurrent wish.
It's very. Sorry, my hands were doing it.
It's a yin and yang, if you will.
It's serendipitous.
Well, he comes in first and he goes, well, that's I have a wish as well, and that's serendipitous. And then he puts on the lipstick.
And geez, it's just
he reaches over,
serendipitous.
and hands Tom Holland the lipstick after he's done using it. So we know that Black Suit Spider-Man doesn't really fight with flips and stuff. It's raw power and technology. And he leaves, the drone that he's with flies away. He whips onto the drone. It looks super cool.
Yeah.
So we have some stuff with our 3 spider guys.
Yeah.
Andrew, Tobey, Tommy.
Yep.
Tom Holland confesses, hey, I think the reason you're here is that I made this wish or did this spell about not being enough to serve everyone. Yeah, it's heartfelt stuff. They're like, we had to learn that, we couldn't be everything to everyone. We had to be ourselves, but nonsense.
Right.
But, like inspirational Disney nonsense.
Yeah.
We learned that the locus of the spell or wish can be controlled, and another person can hijack the power of that spell or wish. So now we have our MacGuffin. But we also realized that the bad guys in from an alternate universe or in from their alternate universes are going after it, including, of course, the Green Goblin. There's a comedy scene in which Ned asks if having sex with an alternate dimension version of yourself is gay or if it's just masturbation.
Nice. Good.
In a Disney film?
Well, that's a director's cut.
It's a paradox. And a welcome one at that.
Oh my God. The Fly Jeff Goldblum just showed us. Similar prep for a big final fight scene. Maybe some scenes with Zendaya being sassy about the appearances of the other Spider-Petes. Maybe Tobey Maguire is sad. He says, I had an MJ. And Andrew Garfield says, I had a Gwen. And it's very sad, heartfelt. The fight, whatever. The Spider-Man are at a disadvantage until Black Suit Spidey shows up.
BSS.
Goblin is the only one remaining, totally fighting with Tobey. Black Suit dives at them both and pushes them both off a high ledge. Goblin falls. Tobey is clinging on. Black Suit Spidey stands over him and takes off his mask to reveal it's Harry Osborn.
Oh, yeah.
AKA the Hobgoblin. Green Goblin flies up on his glider and assumes his place at his son's side.
Is this James Franco?
Yeah.
Okay.
You think the universe will give you what you need? Well, what you need is a lesson in humility. And they're beating the shit out of the Spider-Men. Hobgoblin says he's going to wish all the spider powers away so he can get his father back. He can get his family back.
But he doesn't have that flying snowboard, right?
No.
Okay, now I'm on board.
Well, Tom Holland is like, but I helped beat Thanos. Nobody gets it because nobody knows who Thanos was. We learned that the trank darts in this scene that have been shot at the bad guys are power amplifiers, and now the 3 Spideys have to fight amped up versions of the villains they could barely handle before.
Wow.
They do beat those villains.
All right.
The Hobgoblin's drone expands and becomes a glider, of course.
Yep.
Pumpkin Bonds. MJ and Ned help. We all work together. We learn similar lessons. The wish or spell is canceled, and maybe we even get the rewind/retcon we got at the end of the actual movie, setting Spidey up as a loner with a sad life and no MJ. The franchise can continue. Sony and Marvel can keep riding this cash cow all the way to Cow City.
I like that.
And the post-credit scene is an all-Ned gangbang.
Not all Neds.
Not all Neds. It's like finding a Jeff and a Ned stack.
It's like finding a Goldblum.
It's not his character's name. How did you say?
I thought it was MJ.
He looks right at the camera. Just lifts the wig for just a second, the MJ wig for just a split second, then puts it down and then goes like a right to the camera, winks, and then jumps back into the pile of nets.
And it does a big "That's all, folks."
And then he pops back up one last time and goes, "Abadi, abadi, abadi. That's all, folks." That's
Abadi,
abadu, abadu, and just like a swine would say, that is all, folks.
a swine. Oh, that's great. Good job, buddy.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Thank you. I wish I had more time to work on it.
That's great.
But
No, that's a fun reveal. I like that reveal.
I like
it's
it too.
the idea of, and it's weird because which is more problematic in the current day and age, putting James Franco in your film or putting an all-Ned gangbang in your film.
Here's the difference. I almost did another global. Here's the difference. Is that the Ned gangbang is consensual. It's fully consensual.
There we go.
All the Neds are into it.
Yes.
One had to be like kind of bullied into it. Come on. It's peer pressure. Look how much fun we're all having. Whee!
That's fun. Good job, buddy.
So yeah, it was the idea of getting them there, and then just the fact that Harry Osborn was written out of
right.
and so the idea of it's tough because Spider-Verse did so many great things with different spider personalities.
Yes, right.
And you don't really want to steal from those. You don't want to steal
right.
from the actual movie.
I know. It's hard to find a way around it. I will say that.
Yeah, and I was thinking about it too. I feel like Into the Spider-Verse really. I wonder if this last movie, No Way Home, kind of got a free like boost right at the beginning by having Spider-Verse kind of lay the groundwork for people understanding that, and then just going, okay, we can just do this. It's fine. Go ahead.
I do think that. Basically the existence of like other projects that have multiverse stuff.
Yeah,
Here's another one of these, almost like kind of probably made like the suit aspect of this be like, oh yeah, people will buy this. People will understand there's 3 Spider-Men.
Yeah, and I think Spider-Verse kind of did more of the expositional groundwork
Right.
that No Way Home didn't need to do.
Yeah,
and I think they got to get through the first act a lot faster,
Right.
because of that. Like if Spider-Verse didn't exist, I think the first act would have been totally different.
Yeah, you're probably right. That's a good call. I think that's a really good call.
Yeah.
All right, do you want to go next? Or you want me to go next?
I'll do it. It's fine.
You wanna go next?
Because you were talking about yours kind of
Mine's long.
big.
Mine's
you know what I mean?
9 pages.
Oh, mine is 6 light pages.
Oh, there we go.
That was 1.5, so
Woo!
I'll take it. A nice
Yeah.
appetizer.
Okay, so I will
I can't wait till you read mine because Brad's gonna have to read mine, and that's part of it.
just a heads up. So you don't read ahead.
Now I'm playing Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
When you see Toby, that
I'll read.
you will read for that, and then eventually you will see another name, and then you'll know.
Okay.
And Brad, you're gonna be
Andrew Garfield.
Yes.
Okay.
Garfield.
I'll take care of the rest.
Garfunkel.
I wasn't sure what to name this one, but I wanted to keep in the home setting.
I'm trying not to look.
So there's
Ray has a script. We each have a copy of Ray's script.
Yes, and so I had some options maybe to change the name if I'm
sure.
writing this. No Way Home didn't. I mean, it sort of works, but keeping in the home setting.
Right.
Spider-Man Home Alone.
Yes.
Because he ends up alone at the end. Spider-Man Hi Honey I'm Home. That could be about the Green Goblin.
Yeah.
Spider-Man Homophobe. I don't know where that one fits in.
It's tough. It's tough. What's he afraid of? Home.
You're not gonna guess. Spider-Man Home Goods.
Oh,
It's do some
crossover
product
sponsor.
placement.
Yeah.
Right.
Spider-Man House Hunters.
Okay, it's a step, half a step
he's
away.
trying to find his home again. He's house hunting. So my script also leans on Into the Spider-Verse. My thesis statement is, why stop with just 2 Spider-Men? Open on a rooftop in New York. The three Spideys stop on their way to this. So this takes place within the movie that already came out.
Okay.
This is just I'm adding and making it better.
Great.
The three Spideys stop on their way to the Statue of Liberty because web slinging is cool, but also would be way more inconvenient than most modes of transportation. Catching his breath, Tom Holland Spider-Man has had a question on his mind, and he has to know. Tom, so we're all the same guy, but we look totally different, and so do all of our family members, and MJ, and Ned.
Who is Ned, by the way? I don't have a Ned. Do you, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man?
Nope. No Ned. Nedless.
Tom shakes his head. They're off track. Tom, come on, he's Ned. I took him from Miles Morales because I'm basically Miles Morales Spider-Man, but never mind that. I have an awkward question for you both. Andrew nods knowingly.
Are we virgins? I get it. Listen, you're young. It'll happen. Right, Tobey?
Oh, yes. I mean, I was hooking up with Mary Jane pretty much right away, like first movie right away.
Same for me with Gwen.
A lone tear rolls down his cheek.
And then in the third, I had the symbiote suit and I was thwipping dick all over the place. Mostly Eastern European landlords' daughters.
Andrew and Tom look uncomfortable. That lone tear rolls back up Andrew's cheek and retreats. Tobey realizes he's being super horny.
What? I fuck. In fact, I may be the most wholesome of the three of us, but I've shot more web than both of you combined. Almost had a thing with Harry, too.
Who's Harry? No, forget that. I'm not talking about that. I just wanted to know, with alternate universes and all that, and we're here in New York. They look at each other for a beat. Andrew asks the question for him.
Did 9/11 happen?
Yes!
Oh, man, that was like one of my first thoughts, too. How weird is that?
So, did it?
Yeah, it did.
Yep, same here. Although in my universe, Mark Wahlberg was on one of the flights and he stopped the terrorists on that plane.
But other than that, it's still...
Oh, yeah.
The three are silent, realizing that even though they spend so much time in New York, no one ever mentions 9/11, not even S.H.I.E.L.D. Desperate to change the topic, Tom shifts gears. Hey, I wonder if any of the other Spider-Men came through the interdimensional portals that Doctor Strange opened. Suddenly, a mysterious and nasal voice breaks the awkward silence. Mysterious voice. Yeah, we did, kid. A smaller, older Spider-Man drops onto the rooftop. He pulls his mask off. Tom, Tobey, Andrew, in unison. Who are you? Mysterious voice. Duh? Haven't you ever met a celebrity before? It's me, David Spaderman. They're unimpressed. Spaderman. By the way, I didn't I should have reread this just to make sure. Anyway. Yikes, what a warm reception. I was fighting Doc Ock. He theatrically fake whispers. More like Doc Cock. He snickers. Because he's dating Aunt May? Anyone? No? Anyway, I was sucked into a magic portal thingy and ran into all of them. He gestures behind him and up-thwip more Spider-Men. Too many to count. Like a comical amount of Spider-Men are landing on the rooftop and start introducing themselves. Gentlemen, the name's James Spaderman. I lull criminals with my dulcet tones. Hi, I'm Winona Ryderman. I fight crime and shoplift. I'm conflicted. Tom, I think we get the point. Spaderman, no, let's meet a few more. And I'm Ruth Baderman. I sling justice, gavel, gavel. And I'm Whiter Man. Now just hear me out. David Spaderman. No, pass, next. Another Spidey steps forward. He's soaking wet. I'm Spiderman. Pretty self-explanatory. Another Spidey steps forward. His suit is tattered and dull. This Spidey is brooding and angry. His voice is gravel. I'm Zack Snyder, man. Fuck you. I'll kill you. I'm sad and I'll fucking end you. He starts to cry, and David Spaderman pats him on the back and shuffles him back into the crowd. Spaderman, okay, buddy. It's okay. Tom, I think that's enough. Spaderman, are you sure? I think I can introduce you to like 20 more guys. Another steps forward. Like me, Insider Man. You won't believe what my thing is. Tom, no, I get it. Let's just move this thing along. Spider-Man, geez, relax, Junior. It's a lot to take in. Anyway, we're all trying to find Professor Weird to send us back to our realities.
Professor Weird?
Dr. Strange, man. Keep up with the gag here.
I thought you would be here. Two men dressed in regular non-Spidey suits walk out onto the rooftop from the fire escape. The shorter man's cane taps against the concrete as he trails the taller man. Tom is relieved to see him. Tom, Dr. Strange, you gotta help us. Holmes, I'm not Dr. Strange. I'm the great detective Sherlock Holmes and my assistant Watson. Tom, that's not Watson. That's the government guy from Black Panther. Are you sure you're not Dr. Strange? Holmes rolls his eyes. I can assure you my identity is of no importance to... Tom Holland, Spider-Man, points at him and smiles. You're just like him, like exactly like him. Almost as if your performance as Sherlock Holmes is identical to the performance as Dr. Strange. Holmes, are you quite finished? Because while you've been nattering on about the uncanny similarity between Benedict Cumberbatch's performance as both Sherlock and Dr. Strange, I've been working out exactly how to fix this. But there's only one way this will work. Spider-Man. Wow, you're right. It's the same guy without the white sideburns. Holmes. I am not the same guy. Tom. Well, what's your thing then? Strange does magic and he can figure out all the probabilities of outcomes and stuff? Is it like that? Holmes. No. Watson, well, you do get into your mind palace, and that's a bit Dr. Strange. Holmes, for the last time, I'm Sherlock Holmes. Another man leaps up from the fire escape, this time with more flair. It looks a lot like Robert Downey Jr. Other Holmes, no, I am Sherlock Holmes. Tom, Dad, I mean, Mr. Stark, Tony, you're back. Other Holmes, who's Tony? Tom, Tony Stark. You know... We had a whole Doc and Marty thing, Rick and Morty thing going on. Iron Man? Other Holmes. This must be why people here keep referring to me as this Iron Man. And one lady on the street called me Dr. Doolittle. David Spaderman. More like Doolittle at the box office. All of the Spider-Men groan. Suddenly, a shadowy figure swings into view.
I think I can answer that.
Chuck swings awkwardly on a web toward the rooftop. He lands, but continues to slide along the concrete, dragged by his web. He misjudged the landing. He even more awkwardly stands up. His knees are scraped up terribly, and his suit is definitely 2 sizes too small. Tom, answer what?
Oh shit, I'm late. Sorry, it's me. Weak Spiner Man. Probably the best and coolest variant of them all.
He strikes a pose.
Did you pee in your spider pants?
No.
And that's you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Tobey.
Tobey. I mean, it definitely looks like you did. It's not piss.
Well, it's something.
I was excited to do a cameo in the movie.
Insider Man. I hear you, buddy. Happens to me all the time. Chuck and Insider Man high five and laugh together, both of their wet spots clearly growing.
Weren't we supposed to be going to the Statue of Liberty to save the day?
Everyone looks embarrassed by the reminder. Tom, you're right. We need to go save the day together.
Yes, all of us together. Now we can all definitely agree. 9/11 did for sure happen in all of our realities, which is incredibly sad and dark.
Zack Snyderman interrupts. In my world, Superman did 9/11. Everyone is quiet, unsure of how this conversation got to this point. Tom, Jesus Christ, this got so weird. Let's just go. The fun is gone from his voice. The Spideys all sullenly thwip away. The Sherlocks turn and head toward the fire escape. Only weak Spider-Man remains.
Should I go with you guys? The web slinging makes me so nervous. No, you're cool? Okay, no worries. I'll just web sling then. Sling some web. Yep, just easy breezy. Go ahead and start without me.
He runs and clumsily falls more than jumps off the ledge of the building.
Oh, my lumbar. I did it again. I fucked up my back all over again.
He thwips away into the night, clearly heading away from the fight.
Oh, man, I definitely just not pissed again. I love it.
And that's just, it's just adding a scene.
Yeah,
it's adding one scene to the movie.
Yeah.
I think just really opens it up.
It could be a post credits, a big post credits.
Yeah, big post credit. I like that.
Yeah,
really bring in some more people. A lot of cameos.
Yeah, that's fun. I like cameos.
You don't bring Robert Downey Jr. back, people would flip the fuck out.
That's true. It's
Zack
fun.
Snyder man having Superman do 9/11. Whoo!
Yeah,
that is dark.
He did.
That's dark.
I mean, like the end of what? No, the beginning of Batman versus Superman.
Yeah, the Vision.
Yeah, they're basically talking about like the fight that he had in the first Superman, Man of Steel, was essentially 9/11.
Yes.
You know what's weird? Like I was actually this came up on YouTube today. It was a complete coincidence with this. I didn't watch the Zack Snyder 4-hour cut of Justice League. I actually never saw Justice League at all. Mm-hmm. But on my YouTube, it came up suggested today. It was called like Batman's Vision, Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah.
And I just clicked on it because it was a 4-minute scene. It's so fucking weird. It's Amber Heard, and she starts out, and it's like this wasteland. And she's like, says to Batman, she's like, "Have you ever loved anyone?" And he's like, and you hear like the Joker in the background, which is Jared Leto's Joker, and he's like, "Oh, he's loved, he's lost his parents." And Ben Affleck as Batman is like, he says like, "You better choose your next words wisely." And then like Joker says some shitty thing.
Yep.
And the Joker's wearing a police vest with all the badges all over it, like he killed the police, which I actually think is a cool idea.
Yeah, yeah. You think it's a cool idea to kill a bunch of cops?
I think Joker. Anyway, so Batman walks over to Joker, and it's the weirdest scene ever because the Joker is all like, he has wicked long hair, he's all fucked up, and he says to Batman, he's like, "Me and you are best friends, blah blah," and he's like, "I'm gonna give you my Joker card, and as long as you have this, like, I'm not gonna kill you or something." And Batman takes it and he goes, "When I kill you, and I will fucking kill you." And I was like, this is so, we did that. He goes,
Batman says it?
He goes, "I promised blank, some person, that I'm going to do it slow." And the Joker's like, and it was the weirdest scene I've ever, it was so dark and weird. If you watched this, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I watched the whole Snyder cut.
Oh, you did? What? Wasn't it such a weird scene?
It was a weird everything.
And Joker keeps calling Amber Heard like a fish stick and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It's really strange.
I watched the cut that was released, not the Snyder cut.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I watched that and I was just like, I don't like it. And then I heard that this was a better version.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but at the same
no.
time, I'm just like, I don't like what Zack Snyder has done with DC. So
I know.
even if this is better than the turd, it's
Yes.
still like saying,
I know.
It's like if we all went to a restaurant together and we all got food poisoning.
Yes.
But we had different dishes.
yes.
Yeah.
It would be like, oh, Chuck got less food poisoning.
Right.
So therefore that dish is better. You know what I mean? It's like I
feel-
still don't want that shitty stuff.
I feel bad because I really truly love the Dawn of the Dead that Zack Snyder did.
Oh yes,
I think it's
absolutely. I agree.
incredible.
And you know what? I'll say this about Zack Snyder. I have heard nothing but overwhelmingly positive things about working with him.
Yeah.
And as a director and a producer, like all of those things are quality.
Yes.
It's not about that. I just, man, oh man, like what he has chosen to do with the DC world.
Yeah, it's tough.
The universe, I don't like it. And
It is tough. I mean, I feel really bad because like for a while, the reason he stepped away from Justice League was because his daughter committed suicide.
Correct, yeah.
And then they brought Joss Whedon in to
yeah,
like
and Joss
bring in-
Whedon fucked it up.
Yeah, I mean,
so bad.
I mean, it's just this.
And
really
ironically, I've
unfortunate
heard
thing.
nothing but bad things about working with Joss
Yeah, I
Whedon.
know.
And it's really tough.
And then Zack Snyder did Army of the Dead for Netflix, and I thought that was kind of fun and mindless. Brad didn't like it as much as
did
me.
not.
I didn't see it.
I actually think you'd enjoy it a lot as like another zombie movie.
From what I've heard about it and what I've seen, I'm like, I don't like when zombies have like a consciousness to
Yeah,
them.
they definitely do.
really don't like that because that removes. Then you're not zombies anymore.
Well, here's what's funny that actually let's ask Ray's opinion about this because
right.
this is a long running fight between me and Brad.
I already told you I'm cut.
So
All right.
So
I
it's-
was wrong.
there's
I owe you $4.
there's this awesome scene, and I'm sure Brad will agree. It's awesome from a visual standpoint,
Yes.
where the people are running through a casino that's like active, and the zombies are chasing them, and they're killing the zombies.
Yeah.
But what happens is you see a couple of the zombies go down, and they're robots, and it's never explained in the movie. And people were talking about it afterwards online. And it's like, yeah, because they're going to do future projects that tie into this and explain why some of the zombies are robots. And I'm like, I think that's okay. And Brad's like, I hate it.
No, that's awful.
I think there's going to be another movie in like 2
Did you watch
seasons
Army-
of
did
TV.
you watch
I watched
Army of
Army of
Thieves?
Thieves.
Not good?
No, I enjoyed that because it's a heist movie.
But it's good though?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to see that.
Good God.
Did
I
Zack
can't-
Snyder do that movie?
No.
Okay.
I can't-
The guy who played the safecracker starred in and directed it.
Wow,
Yeah, I think so.
I can't believe they had robots and then they
It's
and it was
really
never
strange.
explained, but it's like, oh, but eventually there'll be another thing explaining. That's
Yeah.
nuts.
Also, there was a dead pixel for like
Yeah.
much
Did you know
of
about
the
this?
film.
Oh, I
is a-
did. Yeah, I
it's
heard about
really
that too.
strange. And
Yeah.
we thought it was I was like, we were watching
No,
it. I'm
no.
like, my fucking TV. I'm thinking
yeah,
about my
yeah.
fucking
Because
50
he was the first. This was the first movie that he.
shot in a
he had
specific way.
cinematography.
Yes, it was this very specific
control or
lens.
something. Yeah.
So basically,
he wanted to use these old lenses.
these old lenses where the aperture is like super,
yeah,
super
I did
thin.
see that stuff. Yeah.
And I think it can be used cinematically in like close-ups and things that are important. Like if
Yeah.
you had like a big action scene that was about to start and maybe
Right.
then you were getting things ready, but they used it the whole time.
Yeah, you know what doesn't work for like fast moving, fast paced stuff is a shallow depth of field.
Exactly.
It's-
And so
it's a mess.
much of it was out of a lot of it was out of focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think I almost looked at the robot aspect as like setting the table for a future thing, which I think is
Dude,
occasionally okay.
Dude, if you're going in to
I
see
agree, I
a
know.
zombie movie and then all of a sudden just a couple of them were like androids, you'd be like, hold the fuck on. And I don't care if there's like, oh, later on it'll be explained in another movie. No. This movie right now, you can't. That's like going to see like Jaws. And then out of nowhere, for one scene, Jaws is about to bite a swimming person like 40 minutes in.
Yep.
Oh, somebody's swimming. Dun, 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 dun. And the shark's coming up to it. And you see the shark open its mouth. But then a fucking cyborg shark swims through and snatches that person. And Jaws is like, well, what the hell? You know what I mean? But then the movie just continues as normal.
All right,
and
fair.
you'd be like, why isn't the sheriff worried about that
All right,
fucking
fair.
cyborg?
Especially here in 1977.
Yeah, exactly.
So okay, so like,
Roy!
I'll pose a question.
Yes.
In Captain America: The Winter Soldier, which I love. It's one of my favorite Marvel movies.
Mm-hmm.
All of S.H.I.E.L.D. is revealed to be Hydra, the bad guys.
Yeah.
And Captain America eventually catches one of them, and he's like, "What are these drones doing?" And the guy says, "They're targeting people of interest. Tony Stark, Bruce Banner, Stephen Strange."
Mm-hmm.
And he says that, and we in that movie we know who Tony Stark is, we know who Bruce Banner is, and we have not seen Doctor Strange yet.
Right.
Is that okay?
That's fine because it's so different than the.
You think it's basically not a plot
example.
point? It's just like, oh, that's
No.
a random name.
If any, that's a random name in a scene where they list off a few names that
Yeah.
we understand. If you don't know who Doctor Strange is,
Yeah,
that's totally fine to miss that. It changes nothing.
for sure.
It's not a situation
yeah,
where
really.
you see robots in a movie about the undead. You know what I mean? They're two different things. All of a sudden, Westworld for 5 seconds. You know what I mean? Like it's like if you were watching Westworld and one of the robots that you think is a robot stands back up and then they shoot it in the head and go, oh no, that's just a zombie, and then never mention it again. You'd be like, wait, is that what happens in this world too?
Yeah.
Yes.
I understand.
It's wacky bullshit.
I'm okay with it because I understand the idea that we live in a world where studios
Bad
are
movies
always
happen,
No,
yeah.
studios are banking on things being series.
But that is a step too far, in my opinion.
I have a question.
As far as like planting a seed,
I
that's
thought
not
so.
planting a
That
seed.
was
that's
part of our big
that's
fight.
dropping a tree in the middle.
Here's
of it.
what's interesting. So they shoot them all, and the audience, like you as the viewer, sees that a couple of them are robots. No one in the movie acknowledges
That's
it at
correct.
all in any way.
Yep.
What if someone had said, "Was that a robot?" and then throughout the rest, because this is probably like 80% of the way through the movie.
Oh, yeah.
If they kept saying like, some of those are robots.
That was a fucking robot, man.
If they did
Yeah.
that, would that be more like okay? Because
That would
it's
be
leading-
worse
Would
because
it
there's
be
no
worse?
answer. There's no answer in the movie. There is nothing in the movie that explains why the
Yes.
robot's there. Even a teaser explanation.
Right, there's not, yeah.
There's nothing there that explains it. So I think it would be worse if there was one like comedic character going, but that was a fucking robot.
I think what if it wasn't like a comedic character? What if it was a plot point that was leading you to like what's the deal?
So let's say let's pitch meeting, the end of
Army of the Dead.
and
And they're like, Batista, where are you going next? And he holds up a little circuit board and he says, I got to figure out.
Yeah, yeah.
Would that be okay?
I'd be more okay with that.
I'd be more okay with
the fact of the matter is this. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter.
Also to piggyback off of your fact of the matter.
I should fucking I should give you a fucking headlock right now.
Why are you touching your penis? When you say you love
circumcise
it. You love
him.
it.
Circumcise him.
That's
Go to
his
put your
wrestling
head
move.
into a grinder.
Oh my god! I just pictured you Mike Tysoning his fucking foreskin.
It's
All right.
just wrapping paper.
I bit his foreskin off. No, but my thing is like even that would kind of suck because you know what it is. The zombie movie is such a specific genre film. It's so specific. Unless you're mixing it up fully from the beginning, then fine. But you can't throw in this other, all the way over on the other side of the spectrum genre into this thing for 1 second and then never explain it or talk about it.
Very strange.
It's like if one of them, like a zombie was about to get them, and one of the characters went like closed their eyes and squeezed their fists together and went, I wish you weren't here. I wish you weren't here. And then they disappeared. And then they never explain it. And then Zack Snyder's like, oh, there's going to be another movie where one of them can do things with wishes.
This is one of the things that I think about when it comes to cinema, like right now.
I think it's sad that you're saying cinema when you talk about a Zack Snyder
Well,
movie.
hold on. Like
Cinema.
popular movies. It's funny, like in Winter Soldier, where he says Stephen Strange. If we're going by the continuity of the movies, we should not know who that is. But so much of the audience will.
That's just a fucking Easter egg.
That's fine. But it's interesting that so many things in like the Marvel movies, whatever, are like, this is a tease for this. Like, we're gonna start the Avengers initiative, and so much of the crowd is like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
Yeah.
And they know about stuff that doesn't exist
But
in the
even
continuity
that-
movies.
right.
Hold on. And so in this, like the Army of Dead thing, I Googled it afterwards. I'm like, why are some of them robots?
Yeah.
And it's like in an interview, Zack Snyder said this. And I'm like, man, how many of the people that watch this movie are supposed to look up an interview where he
Right.
said this thing?
It's not an
and this thing
adaptation.
exactly. And it
Yeah.
exists. But it's very strange to be like, there's what happens on the screen, and then 80% of the audience knows some secret stuff that's happening because of these little moments. Or
I agree,
mentions.
but to be fair, the difference between those two things
This
is
stark difference.
Yeah, one is within context of the movie. It changes nothing with the plot.
For sure.
When they say, and Stephen Strange, it changes 0% of the movie.
Sure, for sure.
By incorporating some robots into the zombies, you're like, well, this does change like the whole idea of what's going on, what is happening here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I
Does
totally
that make sense?
do.
Like,
Yeah, no, I
think they're
also
very good
think
at
it's-
dropping those little things in the Marvel movies.
And I also think the idea of making an adaptation versus being like, we're making a new thing, and there's an interview where he said this.
Yeah.
That's a very different thing too.
It's the same as like if there were a moment in one of the other Marvel movies where somebody was like, where did he go? Wakanda or something. And this was like well before Black Panther. It still doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like the plot is still like, oh, okay, he's in some other country. You know what I mean?
I think artistically that one of the best things about the Marvel movies is their ability to ride two audiences. One that knows everything, and one that can just be brought on for that movie and not have to know anything, where they do give enough information for the audience that's new, while they also feed the audience that's there for the continuity.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of things that do that. But my whole thing is like, if you are going to have stuff like something wild is going to pop up in any movie, I don't care if there's a planned sequel, I don't care if there's a sequel that's coming later. I don't even care if it's a movie that's like this, you go in knowing it's part 1 of 2 or something. Like that movie needs to wrap up its storyline, unless it's an intentional like.
Right, I agree.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
I totally agree.
Yeah, and it's just that to me, I didn't know that, and now I'm so happy I never saw the movie. It would have infuriated me. I would have lost my mind.
It did infuriate me. Right?
I didn't get infuriated. I thought it was fun. I was excited.
Why not have a leprechaun? Why not have the leprechaun in it? Why doesn't he run by while everybody's running and he goes,
First of all,
look
if
at all this
it was the
gold.
leprechaun, Brad would be happy.
I would be back
By the
on
way,
board.
hold on, they're in a casino, and what does he want? Me gold.
yeah, exactly.
Jack, when he does it, and it's the 3 jackpots, and he's like, whoa, and he does the little dance.
but that's what I mean.
He's
Like,
just jizzing.
I think that's what I mean
Well, I
with
didn't know
Zack
that.
Snyder. It's like, man, you seem like a cool guy to work with, but then you do something like this, and no one goes, Zach, don't do
It's weird.
that.
Like Dawn of the Dead, 2004 or whatever, is my favorite zombie movie. It's my number one favorite
I
zombie movie.
suspect, I have to double check. I think I don't think he wrote it solely. He might not have written it.
He might not have written it. He was a director.
And maybe, at most, maybe co-wrote it. But I believe he didn't write it. But
I always think that artists, towards the beginning of their career, they do more of the stuff that is specific to them.
Yeah,
Where they
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of break some rules and they just do what's in their heart.
Yeah.
And as time goes on, they tend to conform a little bit more, where some of their stuff does rise in terms of like professionalism or like whatever.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they kind of become more like everything that's popular.
2004, directed by Zack Snyder, written by James Gunn.
That's why.
Yes,
That's what it was.
exactly.
I remembered this just a little while ago.
Maybe that's a good combo.
Well, I mean, if you have James Gunn write it, it's
Why not have him direct
in
it?
this world, in that type of genre, like it's gonna work. I knew it was
Yeah, James
somebody
Gunn,
because
that's
I had just
crazy.
looked him up earlier about something else he was writing.
James Gunn
or
is
he
a
had
fucking.
written.
What's up with him, man? His fucking career is awesome. I love him.
I
He's
finished
great.
Peacemaker. I enjoyed it.
I heard
Yeah,
Peacemaker's
it's
awesome.
fun.
I heard it's great.
It's a fun show. James Gunn is just a fun writer.
How's Cena in Peacemaker? John Cena.
Great.
He's fucking awesome.
Can
Isn't
I
he
tell you
awesome?
this? I went into this thing going like, John Cena, whatever. At the end of this thing, I'm like, this dude is out the rocking the Rock.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean?
Killer.
Like he's
Killer.
he's a way more interesting, more fun The Rock.
That's
Does that
cool.
make sense?
I love The Rock, too.
turned into to me, The Rock turned into like he's too corporate. Is that the word I'm looking
He's the
for?
corporate champion. That's the storyline
Oh,
from
that's
wrestling.
really funny.
He was the
But-
corporate champion.
But like he has a vibe to me of like
he used to be for the people, and now he's a little bit more corporate.
For a corporation.
Okay, fuck your dumb wrestling shit. I just want to say, like, he does to me come off.
Stone Cold comes out and stuns Ray. He doesn't even get it.
I know the Stone Cold Stunner. Yeah, okay. And that would be Steve Austin coming out, right? And he would crack a beer, right? Yeah. I do indeed smell what The Rock is cooking. My point is, he does come across very, very like almost like a Disney mascot.
Yeah,
right.
sure.
Like that's what I feel.
I
The
understand
Rock.
that.
Like I feel like if I talked to him as a human being, I'd get some like, ooh, there's really. Am I getting a person in there? You know what I mean? Versus John Cena, I feel like talking to John Cena, I'd be like, oh, this is a human being that I'm talking to.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I like both of them equally. I think
You want a
they're both
fun
great.
tidbit?
Yeah, of course.
With Peacemaker?
Yeah.
You have not seen it yet, Chuck.
No, not yet.
This isn't a real spoiler or anything, but so he dies in the 3rd episode. And no, I'm kidding. So there's a scene where he plays piano.
Yes.
Keanu
Reeves?
Keanu Reeves. He plays Keanu Reeves.
Very unique
So
choice,
dumb.
but
that sounds like a really bad
Hold on,
like.
save it for our what is it called? Our costume thing for Halloween.
Oh yeah.
projectile.
No, it feels like a bad improv choice, right? Like it's a low rent comedy bang bang. Like, so who are you? I'm Keanu Reeves. Oh no, he's gonna do this for an hour. G. A major.
yeah. I was like, what else can we do with this besides notes?
Green sleeves. You know. So, in that scene, he plays piano. And he's actually playing piano in that scene. He plays the
that's
piano
crazy.
for real.
Wow.
And here's the fun little anecdote that goes with it. James Gunn was shooting Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad, with Cena
Yep.
in South America. And James Gunn got a call. His dog that he'd had for years and years and years, like 14 years or something, was dying. And sorry to bring you down. And so he decided to fly home. Cena was going to fly back with him to L.A. I think he was just catching a ride, right? Yeah. They're in this little South American airport. There's like nobody there.
Right.
And there's a piano, a grand piano in like the airport lounge that they're in. And James Gunn's sitting there feeling terrible.
Yep.
Feeling this loss of a pet. And then John Cena, out of nowhere, starts playing what James Gunn described as the most beautiful rendition of Where Is My Mind by the Pixies on piano.
Wow.
And James Gunn sat in the airport and cried.
Yeah, of course.
And then knew, we have to have you play. We have to have you play.
Oh, yeah, that's
for the
awesome.
show.
That's a
Isn't
great
that
story.
so wonderful?
Yeah,
And
that's
like
awesome.
I read that and I'm like, this is great.
Yes, that's amazing.
And I just feel like if I talked to The Rock,
Yeah.
I feel like I would get more like, you got to rise and grind, brother. And then I'd be like, yeah, but like, but what about you? Me? I rise and grind, brother. You know, I'm like, no, I don't. What are you? Who are you? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like yeah. I don't
love The Rock,
listen.
but
I feel good about The Rock. I'm just saying, when I saw Cena in this, I was like, ooh, there's more of a person coming through. Does that make sense?
I think that
I don't mean to knock The Rock.
I
Don't
feel-
let me knock The Rock.
would never.
I feel like pre.
But I'm not on The Rock's jock. You know what I'm saying?
Pre the Suicide Squad, I think John Cena was definitely not as accessible for sure. I think that he was more looked at as like the military guy in some movies.
Well, I think now he's starting to turn, like he did Fast and Furious.
Yes.
And I thought he was fine in that too. I thought he was good in that, but I think his performance as Peacemaker like lets you see like this is a fun guy.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what else he does.
yeah, for sure.
And I just think that acting wise, like he can bring something different to the table than The Rock.
Yeah.
Again, I like The Rock.
Yeah.
I'm not poo-pooing The Rock.
Yes.
I just feel like Cena is a little more grounded.
I hear
Does
you.
that make sense?
Sure.
Is everybody cool with
Yes.
this?
It makes sense.
Yeah.
You feel
You
that
know,
And
way.
listen, fuck The Rock a little bit though. A little bit though, because I gotta stand with my boy. I gotta stand with my.
You don't have to.
No, I will. I will stand with my boy.
All right.
I have to stand with my boy Vin Diesel.
Okay.
All right, I know
All right.
that whole thing
He
is very
fucked the
strange.
family. You don't fuck the family.
All right, so final pitch, Doctor.
This is about Fast and Furious, right?
By the way, I also feel that way. I also am bummed that The Rock is like, I'm not coming back to Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
Because I actually really liked Hobbs and Shaw too.
Sure.
I thought it was great. And I thought The Rock was really funny in Hobbs and Shaw.
Hobbs and Shaw for me a little bit.
Watch it again.
No, thank you. Don't tell me what to watch. I'm closing my eyes. You're trying to turn my neck. You hear cracking as you're trying to turn my head towards the screen. I'm like, but real quick, when I thought of Zack Snyder Man, I was very happy. I almost did do Jared Leto Man. And I didn't do it, but I almost did Leto Man because it would have been fun. But
It'd be funny to do Jared Leto Man and then David Letterman.
oh yeah,
that's funny.
No, Jared Leto Man was his whole thing was going to be like, I'm gonna ruin everything. Like, that was his whole thing.
I thought about poor Jared Leto today. I was like, man, like he did a DC movie and he did a Marvel movie, and they both are like stinky
Bottom of the
stinks.
barrel, yeah.
It's crazy.
That's because Jared Leto is, Jared Leto.
He was great in Fight Club. Angel Face?
Sure, you know why?
Because he
that
had
dude
3
had
lines.
like 3 lines. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And one of them was, ow, ow. One line was him coughing up a tooth.
Was he good in something though? Didn't people like him in something? No.
He played
did he
a.
win an award of some sort.
Yeah. He,
In my mind.
oh yeah, I never saw that movie. I want to see that movie where he
Yeah,
had
but I-
AIDS.
Yeah, but I don't remember.
Yeah,
the name
I
of the
wanted to
movie.
say I think he was in an AIDS movie, but isn't that awful to say?
Yeah,
that? I think
yeah.
he was in an AIDS movie. Wait,
Yeah.
was he in Dallas Buyers Club?
That's what it was.
That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't see it
Yeah.
though. I wanted to see it.
I don't know. I think you said. I remember when that came out, and we saw a trailer together, and you were like, "I don't think so," like that, and it was weird.
right, yeah.
And you're like, "I can't connect with these characters," and I went, "What does that mean?" And you looked at me, and I went, "Oh no, he's a Spider-Man homophobe."
Yes, right. Final pitch, Doctors. We have my pitch for if I was tasked with bringing the 3 Spider-Men together, and I have a script, but I feel like it would be most effective if it was read by Mr. Brad Rohr. He has a great voice. He has a great
Thank you.
cadence. I think his vocal tactics are immaculate. That's pretty good. That's pretty interesting to say.
I just got some more voiceover work.
Did you?
Yeah,
That's great.
got an email today.
See, there you go.
Smash cut.
Yeah.
To an ad playing about a guy who's like, "Are you impotent?"
Yes.
No, that's not about you. I'm sorry. I just thought it would be really funny.
I am.
of, like,
Yes, I'm impotent.
Literally anyone
I'm a fictional character. My name is Brad. Oh, no.
No, I didn't mean it towards you. I thought it would be funny if anyone was like, hey, I just got some more voice acting work.
Yes.
What is it? And then it's just,
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Do you, like me, suffer from impotence?
I do like the idea of a sketch where it's like one guy doing all of the ads that are like impotence, incontinence, like everything that's just wholly shameful.
Yeah.
And it's that one guy, and he leaves, and he's like, not a problem. And he just salutes the soundboard guy, and he's like, see you later.
So this is my pitch for Spider-Man No Way Home, and it's going to be read by Brad. So Brad,
All right.
go for it, buddy.
We open on Tom Holland's Spider-Man. J. Jonah Jameson has just revealed to the world that he, Peter Parker, is Spider-Man's secret identity.
So we're in the same world as where No Way Home started.
Yep. Tom Holland. Oh no, everyone knows my true identity. This friggin' blows. So then Tom Holland is swinging and spinning webs and being Spider-Man all over New York City.
Quick question.
Sure.
I'm so sorry. Am I being annoying by asking these questions?
No.
I
have to get psyched up for the next line.
Oh, good. Would it take you out of the movie entirely if in one of the Spider-Man movies, Tom Holland was constantly saying friggin'? Like every other line.
You're about to find out. You're about to find out.
In reality, like if you went to see any of these movies.
I'd love it.
Or just any character in any Marvel movie was just constantly like, hit him with the friggin' blast. Get this friggin' guy out of here. Right?
I would love that.
Get this friggin' guy off me. Right? Like,
I love
so
that.
much.
I love it. All right, so Tom Holland says,
I want to see it now.
So Tom Holland says, this friggin' blows.
So he's swinging and spinning webs and being Spider-Man all over New York City. Hey, forget about it, says a New York cabbie. We're definitely in the Big Apple. You can tell because of all the filthy Italians.
Oh.
Tom Holland heads home. He can't take it. Everyone knows he's Spider-Man, and it stinks out loud. Back at home, he meets up with Aunt May, a.k.a. Marissa Tomei. Wow, she's smoking. What a caboose. Choo-choo. Call me the engineer because I'd love to enter that caboose. Plus, I have one of those big hats.
And by the way, it's a conductor.
Ray stepped on your joke.
Plus, I have one of those big hats.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, sorry, you ruined the joke. All right,
I didn't.
whatever. It's all right. It's all right.
Take it again, man. I'm sorry.
It's
Do you
all
want me to
right.
leave?
It's
I
all right.
apologize.
It's all right.
I won't say a
Start
word.
from back at home.
From now on, I won't say a word.
You can ask questions. Go ahead.
Back at home, he meets up with Aunt May, a.k.a. Marissa Tomei. Wow, she's smoking. What a caboose. Choo-choo. Call me the engineer because I'd love to enter that caboose. Plus, I have one of those big hats. So anyway, Marissa Tomei is there, and boy, oh boy, just wow. Did you see her in The Wrestler? She showed the tease. I was like, wow, she's smoking. You know what? She's dating a new guy in this movie. His name is Chuck Staten. Mm-hmm. Who cares? It's my story. Okay, so now I'm the story. Let's see. Okay, so Tom Holland comes home and he's like, this whole secret identity thing really just sucks donkey balls. Oh, hey, Uncle Chuck. Sorry, am I also reading?
You're Chuck.
All right. Hey, little Tommy. How are you?
This is Chuck.
I noticed everyone knows your secret identity. Is that good or bad? Tom, let me tell you, this whole thing reeks. A lot of people are pissed at me. Other stuff is bad because of it, yada, yada, yada. It's really bad and also not good at all. Chuck, wow, I know how that goes. Aunt May walks by and Chuck spanks her on the caboose. Aunt May, choo-choo. Chuck and Tom laugh together. Tom, that was funny, but anyway, I gotta figure out a way to turn back time or get into an alternate dimension or some stupid thing. Chuck, I know. Chuck bites into an egg salad sandwich. It's on white bread, lightly toasted. The bread is buttered, there's some American cheese on there, and of course the egg salad. It's perfect. Chuck, yeah, I guess you could do a time travel thing or a multiverse or some horse shit like that. Chuck takes another bite. He savors the sandwich. Still perfect. Chuck, or maybe you could talk to one of the previous Spider-Man. Tom, right. Wait, previous Spider-Man? Chuck, that's what I said. Chuck takes another bite of his sandwich. This sandwich is so well made. It could not be better. You know, Chuck always thought he could open a sandwich shop. He had a lot of good ideas, and he was amazing at making sandwiches. Did you ever see his leftover Thanksgiving sandwich? It's immaculate. The Subway Sandwich Corporation offered Chuck a cool $10 million for his secret recipe, but nope, Chuck has too much integrity to sell out to Subway. That's right. Too much integrity. He couldn't be bought. No, sir, no how. In fact, that's what Marissa Tomei found sexy about him. His integrity. Tom.
Now, were you? I'm sorry to chime in. I'm so sorry to chime in. I just had a quick question. I'm so sorry to chime in. I won't chime in anymore because you got so mad at me when I asked a question, and I won't do it anymore.
No, you can chime in. Go ahead.
I won't. But my quick question is,
I won't. Here I am.
Were you hungry when you were writing this?
A little hungry.
Yeah. Were you like trying to hurry up to get to lunch?
Any specific cravings?
Yeah, I was hungry. Hey, you know,
egg salad is so gross.
I love egg salad. You don't like egg salad?
I mean, I don't mind it. I never ever choose it. I never choose it.
I'll choose it. Choosy kids choose Jif.
That's a peanut butter.
That's true.
But I never choose it. I also never want to see someone eat egg salad like in a movie or something.
Point. Yeah.
Also,
or in real
poor
life.
bastard that would have to eat an egg salad sandwich in a film.
Yeah, you have
doing
to
take after take.
I think Chuck's theory.
There's an egg bucket. There's somebody. Like a runner comes in so they can spit the egg salad into the bucket.
So they're not eating like pounds and pounds of egg salad. Yeah, right.
And given how Hollywood treats its interns, that's also probably an intern's lunch.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah. You get whatever spat in the bucket.
Yes.
Caleb.
All right, keep going.
All right, Tom, what do you mean by previous Spider-Man? Chuck, what year are we in right now? Tom, the events of this movie happen in 2024. Chuck, wow, okay. Tom, why do you ask? Chuck, through chewing. Back in 2002, there was another kid named Chomp, Peter Parker, chewing, and the same thing happened to him. Tom, what? What do you mean? Chuck, this was 22 years ago, so you weren't even born yet. But from 2002 to 2007, we had another Peter Parker running around, helping the world. God damn, the sandwich is good. Do you want a bite? Tom, hold on. What are you talking about?
This is fun because it's the it's similar to the thing I've heard this before that I really like this and I would have loved to have seen it as a movie. The James Bond finds out that there have been other Bonds and they're all played by the previous actors.
Yes,
which is really fun and that's
exactly.
I like it. Less egg salad in that idea.
Egg salad shaken.
I believe it was deviled egg.
Tom says, hold on, what are you talking about? Chuck says, my egg salad sandwich. It's perfect. Little butter, little American cheese. Tom, there was another Peter Parker? Chuck, oh, big whoop. Someone else has the same name. That's not a big whoop. It's a tiny whoop. Medium-sized whoop at best. You think I'm the only Chuck Staten? No way. I heard there's another Chuck Staten out there who's super full of himself. He's gap-toothed, he has squinty eyes, his dick is small, he's a goblin and a hunchback and a piece of shit. It's crazy, right? He's like my opposite. Tom. Right. Chuck. So anyway, yeah, there was another Peter Parker, and he was Spider-Man. It was very similar to your whole deal. Tom, this is insane. So what happened? Chuck. Well, he fought the Green Goblin. He fought Dr. Octopus, Sandman, Venom. Tom, I don't know who any of those people are. Chuck, yeah, because he beat them all to protect New York. Big Apple, 3 a.m. That's from Turtles in Time. Tom, Turtles in what? Chuck, exactly. What do you think? You think you know everything? You don't. A ton of shit happened before you were born, like the original Peter Parker, a.k.a. Spider-Man. Think about it. Captain America became a guy in like the 40s, Peggy Carter or whatever. Captain Marvel was in the 80s. Lots of shit happened that we don't talk about. Chuck takes another bite of his sandwich. Tom, okay, so what happened after he beat all those bad guys? Chuck, after May of 2007, we never heard from him again. It was weird, like he just disappeared. Tom, wow, well, I gotta find this guy. He's gotta be somewhere. Tom runs to his room. He packs a quick bag. He grabs his laptop and his web shooters or whatever. Tom, thanks, Uncle Chuck. I had no idea there was another Spider-Man. Tom opens the door to leave. Chuck, eating another sandwich. Yeah, that was the first one. And then, of course, there was the second one. Tom stops in his tracks. Do you mean me? Chuck, nope. Continues to chomp and chew. Tom slowly closes the door. His shoulders slump. He puts his bag down. He sits back down next to his old Unky Chucky. Tom, okay, second Spider-Man. What was the deal? Chuck, well, Chuck chews and chomps. For a couple of years there, a second Spider-Man showed up. At first, I thought it was the same guy, but his costume was slightly different. Tom, so what did he do? Chuck, basically the same shit as the first one. He fought a lizard and an electric guy. It was weird. He accidentally killed his own girlfriend. Tom, oh my God. Chuck, very compelling, very emotional. Great moment. Tom, wow, and what happened to him? Chuck, same thing. He disappeared. He protected the city, and then he was gone. That was back in 2014, so you were like 8. Tom, wow. Chuck, yeah, kooky shit. Tom, well, I have to go find these guys. Chuck, yeah, go nuts. Later in the movie. That's the stage direction here. Later.
I like to think it comes up as titles on the screen.
Yeah. That would be amazing. That's really funny.
We're at a coffee house in Astoria. It's called the Barn Coffee Shop. Note from the writer, this is a real coffee shop that I went to recently. I'm a cool New York guy. People are ordering.
Not enough people saying friggin' so far. Mr. Cool New York guy.
We see a coffee guy giving out coffee orders. Coffee guy. Order for Jiminy? Jiminy, thanks. Coffee guy. Order for Kristen? Kristen, thanks a lot. Coffee guy. Have a nice day. Okay, order up for Peter Parker? Coffee guy stops. We pan up to his face. It's old Tobey Maguire. Tobey slowly turns around. Tom Holland is standing there looking at him. Tobey, are you? Tom, Peter Parker, yeah. And so are you. Tobey is stunned. Tom, we gotta talk. We flash forward. Tom and Tobey are talking at the counter. The avocado toast is way overpriced, but really good. Mm-hmm. Tom, so what happened? I went through all the Daily Bugle archives. I read everything.
Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I just had a flash. Because you keep talking about food and then you mentioned that this place is real. I just pictured you having to write a fucking article about this restaurant and this is your review. Like you've written this whole Spider-Man thing. Like I review restaurants, but what I really want to do is write movies. And
not just any movies, specifically
movies that have already been made. Yes. And then you do like another one of like some Italian restaurant.
It's The Godfather
like,
Part 4.
No, it's like Rise of Pasta. It's okay. So we start on Tatooine.
Yes.
Right? That's funny. This guy's a real meatball. They're deliciously spiced.
I read everything. The last thing that happened was Tobey, Sandman, and Venom. Tom, yeah. What happened? Tobey, I couldn't do it. I lost my Uncle Ben. I lost my best friend Harry. I almost lost Mary Jane. I almost lost my aunt. I walked away. I told myself the next time some big threat faced this city, it would be somebody else's problem. Tom, and it was. Tobey, I couldn't explain it. We had a whole year without any of those crazy villains, and then 2008. Tom, Iron Man. Tobey, exactly. I thought I was completely alone with these powers. I had read about Captain America during World War II. I read about Captain Marvel in the 80s, but these were relics of the past. I felt like the only person with, Tom, powers? Tobey, yeah, but Iron Man changed that. It was 2008, and all of a sudden Iron Man. Same year, guess who else? Tom, Hulk. Tobey, yep. Tom, realizing what Tobey is thinking. And then Thor. Tobey, yep. And there were rumors of all the superpowered people teaming up. Tom, the Avengers. Tobey, exactly. But I was done. I didn't want to risk any more of the people I love, so I went into hiding. I avoided the whole thing. And then, all of a sudden, Tom, another Spider-Man. Tobey, geez, you know your history, kid. Yeah, another Spider-Man showed up. I couldn't explain it. I didn't understand it. But to me, it meant I was off the hook. That was that. Tom, you never looked for him? Tobey, I didn't want anything to do with the whole thing. Tom, but aren't you curious? Another Spider-Man? Another Peter Parker? Tobey, no, I'm not. Looks in his wallet at a picture of his wife and daughter. I have more important things to worry about. Tom, gay.
And that's where I left off. And so the idea...
You left off with
that? Gay?
So what happens is, basically Tobey Maguire was Spider-Man for the years that the movies existed, which is 2002 to 2007. And then he basically put it down. And 2008 started Iron Man, Hulk, and Thor, and all these people coming in. Then 2012 is Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. And essentially the same thing happened to him, except his reason for turning away from it would be killing Gwen Stacy.
He didn't kill Gwen Stacy.
Well, it was part of it. He almost saved Gwen Stacy, but she died, and it was he was entangled.
Yeah, but there's a huge difference between attempting to save someone and failing and killing them.
Yes. So he walked away from that reason.
O.J. Simpson walking away. I almost saved Nicole.
So then Tom Holland came in as the new Spider-Man. And so the idea is that they did exist in this world this whole time, and they each walked away, which caused another one to become Spider-Man. So the thing that we would have to figure out is, what is the reason that the universe is basically like, we need a Spider-Man? So when someone gets the call and then eventually turns away, the universe finds another person. You know what I mean?
It's tricky because I think it would have worked if there wasn't the tertiary characters, because when you have like a couple of Uncle Bens and a couple of Aunt Mays, three Aunt Mays, you're starting to be like, what? You know what I mean? Like if it was different Spider-Men.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, like if it was like this guy is Miles Morales and this one is Ben, whatever. Yeah,
like one of the things that helped was like in the difference between Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire is like the Gwen Stacy versus Mary Jane storylines.
Right.
Like that works, and then MJ is not Mary Jane.
Yeah, right.
That part works, but once you pull in Aunt May and Uncle Ben, it starts to be like, do they have to be repeated as well? And like the name repetition.
Yeah.
If you could get around that.
Yeah, if you could find a way. Yeah, exactly. But that was my idea. My idea was basically he finds out that there's previous ones, and they've basically put it down, and the universe is calling for another Peter Parker. And I think in the Spider-Man comics, there is kind of like a spider god. There's like it's a female god that is basically like, it's almost like she combines the multiverse of Spider-Man, right? I don't know what her name is, but and it's kind of like that. It's almost like she's the one kind of pulling the strings.
Yeah.
But that was my idea. My idea was that someone puts it down and then someone has to pick it up.
Yeah.
Which let's say in this movie they team up and they fight someone, then there would be the next movie, which is kind of where they'd have to figure out why this happened and why does a new Spider-Man have to get called on, and who is controlling this, and it would probably have to be something like cosmic and weird like that.
You
know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that was my idea. I like the idea that as opposed to just like, well, the movie studios were like, this didn't work, so we're starting over.
Right.
We're actually treating it like the universe is making that decision, which is cool, which I think is a fun way to look at it.
Yeah, I like that.
That was my idea.
That's fun.
Yeah. It was fun. I like the idea of the egg salad sandwich and Aunt May and Chuck.
No. I don't like the egg salad sandwich.
I like that.
Egg sandwich, salad sandwich, both are fine.
Really?
Individually.
That's a little odd.
Egg salad sandwich, GTFO.
Yes.
I think where you lost me
Oh boy.
was
Salad
the
sandwich?
depth in which you described the sandwich. Right? And like you kept going back to it.
Oh yeah.
You're like, I need for somebody who seemed very horny for Aunt May.
Oh yeah.
You were more horny for the sandwich.
Yeah, by like 10 times.
Chuck, I think there's a lesson here from the roar about the Mario Brothers movie. That the directors were focusing on minutia.
Right.
And the idea of you focusing on this egg
And that's a
salad
new
sandwich.
villain, right?
Yes.
Minutia.
Yes.
I would love that as a villain.
Made,
Look how intricate my puzzles are.
Oh, wait, I need to fix one quick thing. Hang on.
Hold
God.
on. Oh,
Yes.
shit.
That's minutia just loses to their own self-doubt.
Yeah, Minutia was going to take over the world, but then couldn't settle on just the right amount of dimness in their lights. Like, I can't deal with this. It needs to be on or off. These dimmer switches. Is it too dark? Is it too dark?
It feels dark.
It feels dark, but then when I turn it up just a little bit, it's too bright. It's too bright.
Gives me a headache.
It's too bright. This is starting to feel like a Robot Chicken moment right now.
Well, three
Is this egg sounded too creamy?
pitches that would have been
Yeah.
more successful than the already phenomenally successful Spider-Man No Way Home.
I'll throw this out there.
Yes.
In terms of budget,
Yes.
I think $2 donuts or 4 donuts.
I know.
$2.
I've never
Dollars
said-
for Donuts is the name of my budget.
I thought that was the name of your charity.
Donate to Dollars for Donuts.
You just see little kids like, we're so hungry.
Donuts.
Won't you give for a cruller? Won't you give for a cruller? Look at this little girl. She's starving. Won't you give her some munchkins? Just a few
pennies a day will buy this girl a bear claw a month.
Honey, what's your favorite kind of donut, honey?
I want protein.
Oh, well, we don't have that. Okay. Boston cream for you.
Cream is a kind of protein.
It's so heavy and thick. Just shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. Somebody give her a spoon. But I will say, $2 or $4 donuts. I think you could shoot mine because mine is just an insert.
Yes.
Like you can just add this scene in when they're on their way to the Statue of Liberty.
Right.
And by the way, I said it in the beginning of my thing, and I think there should be more focus on this at some point. Just a scene, just one little nod to it.
Yeah.
I would love for there to be more acknowledgement of how impractical traveling, like traversing the entirety of New York via zipping doesn't work.
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
It's great in like downtown Manhattan.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
When the buildings are huge and tall.
Yeah.
But once you get out into the boroughs, right, it's a lot shorter. And also it would take a long ass time.
Yes.
Yeah, well, you have to be really strong, dedicated.
Yeah, if you're like in the financial district, right? If you're going to pay your respects at the 9/11 memorial, I don't know why it keeps coming back to this for me.
Well,
You just think, I guess what I'm saying is you would think all of these heroes living in New York, it would be a bigger part of their lives. You think Tony Stark would mention like, geez, that horrible event happened that Tuesday morning, but nobody ever says anything.
That's true.
Nobody says peep. All right.
Yep.
Not Shield's not doing shit. Nick Fury should be furious that he let it happen under his watch.
Yeah, it's true.
All right.
I'm with you.
So anyway, remember they had to cut
the
a scene,
Spider-Man.
the Spider-Man where he had
was
a
the trailer.
helicopter.
It was a trailer.
Yeah, he had a helicopter in the web, and they were like, "Gotta cut it."
Yep.
Yeah, they had a web between the two towers.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. I remember that.
yeah, that's rough stuff.
It is.
plus
so,
I was playing the role of the helicopter.
Yeah.
oh, the
So
pilot,
my-
the helicopter
Ah,
pilot.
man, I'm all
Oh
stuck.
no, just the helicopter.
Just the helicopter.
I just
stuck,
pictured
man.
you
Help me out,
completely
baby.
naked with paint all over your body. Just paint all over you to make you look like a helicopter.
That was my big break, and just
broke
didn't
it.
happen.
You broke
so thanks a lot, ISIS.
Wait, ISIS didn't do it.
Look,
Wait, why am I
all bad
defending
guys.
ISIS? hey, you keep ISIS's name out of your mouth.
well, we started
You know,
with circumcision.
I'll just say this: ISIS is a lot of things. Okay.
okay.
But you watch what you blame on them. Okay.
Yeah. All right. You just totally looked over Al Qaeda.
Hey, I
Oh, yeah, that's who did
I hate
it.
to defend ISIS again.
Oh,
You
here
know-
comes
you know-
Chuck again.
you know, for someone-
treading lightly on
For
that.
someone who hates to defend ISIS, you sure do it an awful lot.
Listen, I hate to defend ISIS, but
But you're wearing your ISIS Defender T-shirt.
I just picture you saying that, but in a video, in one of those hostage videos. Like, listen, I hate to defend ISIS again, but they treat us pretty good. That's horrible.
There's like service personnel like chained to the cave wall, and Chuck's in front of him eating an ice cream cone. Like,
No, eating an
these
egg
guys-
salad sandwich.
these guys aren't so bad. I gotta say.
These guys are great. You just got to tell them all your secrets.
Yeah.
Like, no big deal.
We're in the desert. How do they keep this cold?
Where'd they get the eggs? This is great. You know what's weird? I can tell that the bread is Pepperidge Farms, but I don't know how they got it. But wait, what was my initial point? Oh yeah, web slinging,
Yeah.
whipping through the city. Yeah, it has to take fucking forever.
Yeah, for
It has to take forever.
You know what's funny? Before you came on the podcast today, I was talking to Brad and I go, we usually do like normal topics and then end with like pitch doctors when Ray is here. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I don't think we need to do normal
No,
topics. I think we
no,
can go
no,
right
no.
into it as soon as we start because it's going to go branch.
And then we
branch,
just did a
branch,
whole
branch.
bunch of abnormal topics.
Yes, we sure did.
Yeah, we did.
And I like that this time was the first time that I've been on the podcast, and Chuck admonished me when I made a comment while his was being read.
Well, because
You
it
were
was a
very
joke.
se-
It was
I-
one joke that you stepped on.
All right.
happens.
Listen, I didn't say shit when you butchered all the deliveries on the lines that I wrote
I
for
killed
you
the
to say.
delivery.
You fucking butchered it. You butchered it. Oh, in my movie, you were definitely the robot zombie. Everybody listening is like, God, he's butchering these lines.
It's really phoning.
Brad did a great job.
Thank you.
Well,
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. I appreciate not having to do a significant accent work or impressions because I'm bad at both of them.
Good to know.
disagree.
Good
He's
to
good
know.
with those. He's good.
We're gonna do another one.
He did
of
Scrooge
these.
McDuck last time. Remember that?
Yeah, that's right.
It was
Yeah.
good.
Not really. No.
It was great.
Yeah.
That's part of the comedy.
One of the games I like to do as an improv warm up. It's accent or impression. It's hotspot. So you're in a circle. One person goes in the middle. Normally it's
And
a
they
musical
hit 'em.
hotspot.
They throw things at them.
They sing a song, you get a line, it inspires a new song, you tag them out, whatever. With accents, you go out and you give a statement in an accent, and somebody can either come in and do the same statement in a different accent or do a different line in the same accent. So you're practicing your accents. And like if me, self-conscious about them, it gives you a chance to like be fun and supported.
How often would you say it veers towards
Immediately.
little bit of racism?
Immediately
Yeah,
to racism.
I
Yeah.
knew it was going to get there.
Yeah.
I just like the idea of like the new improv guy, and I
Yeah.
don't know why it's Chuck in my head, but it is.
Yeah.
And and it's like, all right, we're gonna do hotspot, and everybody's like,
Yeah.
it's like Michael Scott taking improv that scene
Yes,
from The
yeah.
Office. Only instead of always having a gun, it's,
Yep.
it's Chuck always going hard racist, hard racist immediately. Like you, like when the game starts, everybody does like claps but before they can finish the claps. You jump in and you're like, "Hey, man!" It's like, oh no.
Yeah.
I always suggest deaf guy.
Real quick, let me ask you this, guys.
Yes.
Just to bring it back around and keep it grounded with our boy Spidey. Of those three young men when they filmed it, and now some of them are older. Who's your Spidey? Who's your Spidey of those three?
I think overall,
Take away like the specific films that they're in, right?
and just talk about who represents Peter Parker.
That actor as that character. Like take away like the plot of whatever's going on, because that changes and it's so different. Like the Sam Raimi ones, they're very campy,
Yes.
they're very silly, and so you may like the tone of like say the MCU ones more.
Right.
But as far as the actor goes,
Yeah.
Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, who stands out to you as like that is a great Peter Parker?
For me, I kind of think it's Tom Holland.
Yeah, he gives there's a more of an air of youth.
Yeah,
And-
naivete.
Yeah.
Naivete is kind of the word I would use. But also and like I said, I'm trying to discount the actual plot, but his journey as Peter Parker, I do think is part of it. And the ultimate sacrifice that he makes at the end of the newest Spider-Man movie seems like possibly the greatest sacrifice in any of the movies. Like, even though Andrew Garfield accidentally is involved in the death of Gwen Stacy, that's not a choice.
It feels like you're Andrew Garfield's lawyer.
But
No, that's plot.
That's plot, but it's also character development.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I think that him making that choice, and that making that much of a sacrifice after he loses Tony, after he loses Aunt May,
Yeah, but that's so difficult because everything you're saying is about plot.
It is plot, but it's also character development.
Character development is part of like the plot of the thing. I'm talking like that actor's.
I think Tom Holland. I
performance.
still think Tom Holland.
Okay,
for
great.
me.
Yeah.
I think
I just wanted to get down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah, even when
Tobey Maguire is also great.
right.
You know what I mean? And then even like the way Andrew Garfield handles his role in the newest movie and his perspective as Peter Parker is also great. It's really tough.
Can I tell you mine?
Yes,
because
of
you guys
course.
both said Tom Holland.
Yes.
I am the dissenter in this,
Uh-oh.
and I never thought I would really feel this way. But I rewatched all of the movies when they announced this movie.
Yes.
And the rumor was pretty strong that the three of them were going to be all together. I told my son we have to watch the other Spider-Man movies. So we went through and watched all of the Spider-Man movies. And I got a chance to rewatch them. And I think for me, just on performance, because I'm going to take the plot out of all of it, but just on performance, I think Andrew Garfield is my Peter Parker. I think he's
pretty great. He's pretty great.
as far as a Peter goes and like really showing the light-hearted stuff, the quippiness of Spider-Man and Peter, but also the weight that he's feeling from loss and all of those things. I think he does a really great job at that.
I agree.
I think he's a really great, like, just from the comics, like reading the comic books and then looking at the three of those guys and going, who do I more envision in these comic book stories? I think, to me, it's Andrew Garfield. And I think Andrew Garfield got the rawest deal when it comes to the Spider-Man franchise.
Yeah.
Because Tobey set it up.
Yep.
And also arguably knocked it down with the third movie. It's not his fault, but that third movie is rough.
Yeah.
And then things moved on. Mm-hmm. And I think with Tom Holland, he's great. He's a great Spider-Man, but I think he also gets maybe a little bit of an unfair advantage only because at the time when he appeared, people were ready again and wanted to see a Spider-Man, and they were excited to see Spider-Man enter an already incredibly successful storyline happening.
Exactly.
And so it wasn't on his shoulders. He literally started as a fucking side cameo character.
Like
right?
if you think of Civil War, that movie is awesome without Spider-Man.
Right.
Yeah. And then inserting Spider-Man into that
people got
is like so
fucking
exciting.
horny for it, and they wanted it, and he's great. And I'm not discounting his work.
Right.
But what I think sucks is Andrew Garfield, and I know this is how I felt when those movies started to come out, when the first of those movies came out, Amazing Spider-Man, I was like, fuck this. Like, we don't need this. Like, it was, if you look at the timeline, it was during the first like superhero dip that was happening, like the not backlash, but people were kind of sick of it. It was right after Iron Man 2.
Okay.
And Iron Man 2 was a bit of a letdown, right? Mm-hmm. Majoritively.
Yeah, right.
And I think this was like Thor 1 maybe era, but like something else had happened. And then it wasn't enough time passing to bring back Spider-Man and do the origin story all over again and do all the stuff. And people were just like, we don't need this.
I know.
This is stupid. You guys are just going to retell stories over and over and over and over. Because I do remember that time. I was working at a movie theater. I was a projectionist, and I remember people being like, that's when people first started talking about like, superhero movies. I'm so fucking sick of this.
Yeah.
Because like I said, Iron Man 2 kind of dipped and people were sick of that. And I think Andrew Garfield just got like the raw end of the deal.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, and it sucks because like those movies, they're not as fun as some other things, but I think those two movies certainly moved more towards like a legitimate like storyline and telling a thing that was way less campy than Sam Raimi's storylines.
Right. Yes.
And that's fine because Sam Raimi made those movies when the high watermark, the benchmark for movies was the Tim Burton Batman.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you watch the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie, the first one, it's very similar in tone to the first Batman. Like not the darkness,
and
but
the first X-Men, which was around the same time.
Right, yes, yeah. And and that's when that Spider-Man movie came out with Andrew Garfield, like when the Spider-Man movie or the X-Men movies were fucking tanking. This was the era of like when the standalone Wolverine movies were. Yeah. This was right around when the first iteration of Deadpool happened.
Yeah, right. Yeah, for sure.
You know, people were done, and I do think Andrew Garfield gets a raw deal.
I agree.
And what I was surprised with was watching No Way Home when Andrew Garfield steps through. That was the emotional one for me.
Interesting.
That was the one where I was like, fuck yeah. And it felt, you know why? Because Tobey it's a return.
Right.
And it's like, hey, and everybody has a really positive view of him. I think Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man has started to come around and people are starting to see it as like, this was actually really good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he did a great job.
Yeah.
But at the time, he got so much shit for that, and he's a fantastic actor.
Oh, yeah.
And so it was nice. It felt like a redemption to see him come into this.
Well,
That's why it felt good to me.
My number one favorite moment from No Way Home, which is a movie that I absolutely adore and think that could not have been handled better, regardless of the fact that we brought a lot of good pitches today.
Some would say better pitches.
Right.
Yeah.
Is when Andrew Garfield saves MJ and he says, "Are you okay?" And he starts to cry.
Yeah,
and she
yeah.
says,
She's like, "Are you okay?" Yeah,
it's the best moment of the movie.
Yeah, it's really
when
good.
when I saw Amazing Spider-Man 2 in theaters, the death of Gwen Stacy, like I cried during that part.
Oh, yeah.
And when we walked out of the theaters, I said, I'm like, I think that's the most emotional part that I've seen in a superhero movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then that was
Yeah.
before, Tony Stark's death in
Right.
Endgame, which is a
Sure.
big one too.
And you know what? Tom Holland, that dude is an effective fucking crier.
Oh.
We've talked about this.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude, when he's dying in Infinity War,
shut the fuck up.
It's like
shut the fuck up.
it's crazy.
I don't like it. Well, first off, he did him and Marissa Tomei phenomenal job in this one.
Oh.
He was so effective with that as well. And I
my
think because
God.
they genuinely surprised
the audience,
with
For
that,
sure.
you're like, whoa, I didn't expect it. You know?
for sure, such an amazing turn on what that is.
Right. I loved it.
Amazing. It was so good.
But, and this is me as a dad.
Yeah.
I wish I could go back and have pre-dad me watch that moment in Endgame. Or no,
In Infinity War.
Yeah, I wish I could see that then to get like a scientific balance here.
Control group,
A control group.
baseline.
yeah.
Because when I saw that moment when he's when he's turning to dust and he's crying and saying I don't want to go, like if I try and retell that, I could get choked up.
I know,
You know?
I know.
Because he is talking to his father figure,
Right.
and he's saying that, and he's the most little kid we've ever seen him in that moment.
Yeah.
The dad in me,
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't like this scene, and it's stupid and dumb. I hate it. I hate it, and it should go away forever and ever and ever. And put it in a box and put it in the freezer. Fuck this. Like I really did not.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
It was so good.
It was good.
It was so good. And then in Endgame, when Tony Stark is like, I'm not risking my family.
Oh,
I'm not
yeah,
getting
yeah,
involved.
yeah.
And he's washing the dishes and he goes to put the dish away and he sees the picture of him and Tom Holland.
Yeah.
And that's what makes him look into it. Holy fuck. Like when people are like, I don't like the MCU, blah, blah. I'm like, you're a fucking, I'm not going to use the word.
No, don't do that.
I'm just like I'm like, there is real emotional storytelling in these movies. Like I get it. It's big CG fights. I get that can turn off like a film person or whatever,
Yeah.
superheroes. But
No,
those emotional moments are so fucking
Listen,
well executed.
The Marvel movies for me are what they are. And there's stuff I really love about them. There is some stuff where I'm like, whatever, like that. I do wrestle with the idea of it being this like
Green screen.
no, not the green screen part of it, but like the corporate entity of the films.
Yes.
The Disney Marvel MCU.
Yes.
And how because they have a through line, you can't veer too far away.
Right.
And like directors and writers not being able to like really skew, right?
Right.
Like, I think some of the favorite directors that Marvel uses have a pretty flat kind of view. Like it's hard to see a director that has the camera fucking move. You know what I mean? Like it's really difficult. Like there's a reason why Edgar Wright walked away from Ant-Man.
Yeah, right.
And Edgar Wright is such a
Prolific.
He's a director who's like really he's very present. You know what I mean? Like
for
he's
sure.
a present director. Like he uses the camera for movement. The camera's
Right.
part of the character work and stuff like that.
Yeah, Baby Driver at the beginning and stuff like
right.
that. Yeah.
And I just don't think even all of his other stuff, all the snap zooms and
For
all
sure.
the things that happen.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what Raimi does
Yeah.
with the next one because he uses snap zooms and Dutch angles all the time, but I think you'll see far less of that. And I because and
I know
I
what you
get it
mean. I
because
mean,
it has to all fit together
You're talking
to a
about
degree.
the cinematography aspect, basically,
Cinematography and a
opposed to
director like making certain choices
For sure.
like James Gunn doing.
Guardians.
Yeah. I mean, he did Guardians, and like there is more there. There's a little bit of James Gunn coming through
For sure.
But there's other things like we were talking about, like Peacemaker earlier. Like you can see far more of his voice coming through.
Yes.
There's still, at the end of the day, every director of a Marvel movie has the responsibility of delivering this to Disney and Marvel as part of the whole.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
So it's a little difficult, but yeah, no, I love them, and I think for what they are, they're wonderful and they're really well done.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's very impressive.
And I think that they're I think that they're thoughtful. I think they're telling good stories. One of the things that I think is really interesting about the Marvel machine aspect is that so much of what you get for summer blockbuster bullshit is really, really tapered to, well, this was successful before, and so it all has to feel the same.
Right.
And Marvel has this little ace up their sleeve where they say, well, this is one of our stories from 1983 when the people who wrote these were like, we're going to write whatever the fuck we want. We have a villain who wants to kill half the world.
Right.
If you pitched that story and it didn't already exist as a successful story, everyone turns it down.
Yeah, and I
but
think
they get to go, we got to do this thing in this weird nerd world and we're bringing it to the mainstream.
But the safety is like, we have already done this before.
Exactly.
Blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But those writers...
That's good, and it's also kind of scary because at some point, I love it as long as it doesn't eat too many of the little fish. Does that make sense?
Totally.
I don't want them to gobble up everything.
Exactly.
That's why when I win the lottery and fund your independent film, Little Fish. It's a little fish that can. It's the name. That's the name of the movie.
I don't think you've seen the budget. It's a big fish.
Yeah.
It was a big fish before the circumcision. That's called I don't know. It's not even a callback. It's like a wraparound. Question.
You can
reach around.
No, don't say reach around in this context.
I was gonna say I want Brad will be with me on this, or I'll drag him along.
Oh.
And Ray, I think
you
is
so often do.
and I think Ray's not gonna be with me, but I'm hoping he will be. We all saw Spider-Man No Way Home. Brad and I saw it in the theaters like a couple days after it came out, maybe like 5 days. Did you see it in the theater?
No.
Right.
No, I didn't.
So I really think that Doctor Strange is going to have even more of this kind of stuff where they're going to experiment with bringing in people.
Yeah.
I really want to see it opening weekend because I want to be in a theater full of people who are psyched for it. Because that's one thing I was bummed about with Spider-Man.
I want to see David Spaderman show up in the Multiverse of Madness.
Will you go? Will you go opening weekend?
Yeah, probably.
Would you go? Ray?
When is opening weekend?
A couple. I think it's like 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Maybe. Because I think that.
Well, here's the problem though. Often, most of the time, I can't go to an opening night because you're doing shows.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I
I
can't see them.
I hear you. Well, so the thing is, I saw
and now opening for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Ray Harrington.
Hey everybody!
Two of my favorite movies.
Don't you think it's weird that it's basically Sherlock? What? Boo! Oh no!
Two of my favorite movie theater experiences is I saw Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back in 2000 in Florida for some reason in a movie theater full of Kevin Smith fans, and everyone was so psyched. And then I saw. Oh man, what was it? I'm trying to think. Endgame. We saw Endgame opening weekend in a room full of people who were totally into the MCU. You heard people, literally heard people crying when Tony Stark died. Remember that?
Yes.
And it was so awesome to be in that group experience. And I'm like, I wish we did that for Spider-Man. We had a good Spider-Man experience the first time we went. But I would love to do an opening weekend for Doctor Strange.
I haven't had that. The closest I've had to like a real experience, like wow, I can't believe I was at the theater for it.
Yeah,
was when I was a projectionist.
Yeah. Yes.
And I did. Well, I mean, I did so many. I saw all these like people freaking the fuck out for the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah.
For the Pirates of the Caribbean movies and stuff. That's not. It didn't connect with me then. Like I didn't get into the Harry Potter movies until way later.
Me too. Same thing. I wish I was. I wish I was part of that.
Sure, yeah, and the Pirates movies, but that's just me.
I like
the first one was fun.
I only saw the first three. I don't know what happened after that, but I only saw the first three.
But the experience that I had, because I was the projectionist and also like the midnight premiere guy.
Yeah.
So I was in for a lot of these things.
Yeah.
The one that I was excited to see was Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull.
Yeah.
And so we did the midnight.
Yeah.
We had middle-aged men dressed as Indiana Jones.
I'd love to see you in Indiana Jones.
Not me. But in the jackets, they had the hats, they had the whips, they had all the khaki in the world, all that stuff. And we saw the movie.
Yeah, that's fun.
And I'm sitting there and I'm watching it, and the movie happens, and I'm like, oh no! Like I watched the Crystal Skulls the way
I know.
I watched that the way Nicolas Cage watches the 8mm film.
Oh no!
Like I just had to sit there going, it's so difficult to watch. I'm like,
I totally get that reference. He gets that reference. Do a lot of people get that? I think 8mm is fucking awesome.
So in that movie, he plays a detective or something, and he's trying to find out this murder and the death and stuff.
There's a snuff film that someone hires him to see if it's real.
But it's like also childy kind of stuff too, I think, or something.
Well, the snuff film is just a girl gets killed.
Yeah, but
and the woman finds it in a safe when her husband dies, and she says, "I want to make sure that this isn't real.
Yeah,
can you go into this?" And he has to go into the underworld of like but sexual.
There's a scene where he's watching the reel.
Yes,
and we never see what's on the screen. We just see him watching.
Fucking
and
awesome.
He's reacting and doing it.
By the way, you know what his name is in that movie?
Millimeter.
Detective Tom Wells, which is our old guitar, Senior Discount's old guitarist.
He's not my anything. Don't say our and point at me.
You had your chance with the keyboards and you blew it, Bradley.
Brad's confidant. But no, that movie's awesome, by the way.
No, sure. But my point was
I
like,
get it.
I'm thinking that like, he looks like he's passing a kidney stone while he's watching the thing. Yeah. So that was my experience with it. But the beautiful moment that happened that I'll never get again. And I know this sounds like I'm super negative, but I mean it in try and find a positive in the sad situation.
Right, sure. Right.
I watched middle-aged men go from the height of pure joy to the lights coming on in the theater.
And it's just like this like muddled silence.
It is, dude, it is dead quiet in that theater. Nobody's even doing like the like no. It is so quiet.
I like the monkey part.
And here's the best part: these middle-aged men, almost like it was a cue, they took the hats off.
Oh, that's not good.
They took their hats off because it was like they were embarrassed to have the hat on.
Yep.
And I was just like, that is the most it's the most prescient thing I've seen for a movie reaction. Like, you never need to read a review.
Yep.
Just a quick shot of one of these men walking out of that theater, taking their Indiana Jones hat off.
Yeah.
The one that they were so happy that they got to wear today.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it's funny. That's tough. I don't want to leave on that, so I want to go back to our Endgame
How about
experience.
this? Do you think if Spider-Man was a different time, like a few years earlier, the MCU stuff all kicked off?
Yeah.
I'll bet you dollars to donuts.
Okay.
That it would have been Shia LaBeouf.
Seriously, it could.
I bet it would have been Shia.
Shia LaBeouf
I'm sure he was in talks.
Yeah.
He was Peter Parker in that Indiana Jones movie. That's what he was.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones was the real Indiana Jones, and he was like the becoming a hero adventurer guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so excited for Doctor Strange. The rumors are like, what's his name? Chris, who plays Chris Evans?
Jericho.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's gonna come back as the Human Torch. He's gonna be like in the movie.
That's very fun. I
Isn't
like
that so fun?
Yeah.
And so Sam Raimi's gonna bring all these things in. The rumors are like Lou Ferrigno back as the Hulk.
Rumor Willis.
Obviously, they said that Deadpool's. They said they're gonna do like a bunch.
Bruce.
Like, it's gonna be really.
Rumor Willis as Bruce.
They said it's gonna be like Multiverse of Madness, and then they're gonna have the post credit scene is Deadpool like kind of making fun of it. And
that's fun.
It's gonna be amazing. It's almost like Spider-Man No Way Home was like, we can do this and make it like full of heart and really storytelling.
Yeah.
And now Multiverse of Madness is like the
We get to
kooky
play.
with it. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's amazing. I want to be there for that.
I'm excited to see Bruce Campbell as Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's going to be fun. Because I thought it
and-
was funny when, like, I saw him getting dressed up as Doctor Strange. I'm like, I love it. Sam Raimi.
Yes,
You know,
yes,
listen, those movies, the Evil Dead have a very special place in my heart.
Sure.
But it's funny because when I saw the first trailer and we see like the really evil Doctor Strange, I was like, that just looks like Evil Ash from Army of Darkness.
For sure.
It looks very similar.
Yeah,
And I'm
for
like,
sure.
oh, that's fun. I don't know if that's like a nod
sure
that
it
he's
is.
making. But so to leave it on a positive note, I would say from your tubies
Yes.
that do want to show some love for Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. I'd love to, you know, give that call to action.
Yeah.
Tell us if you agree,
please.
or who your favorite.
Who's your favorite Spider-Man?
Who's your favorite Spider-Man?
Right in. There's a lot of rumors. There's a lot of rumors, and I'm so excited. They said that Wanda's going to kill Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man in this movie.
Ooh,
I know, it's crazy. Can they do that? And is that kind of a smart?
Is that legal?
Well, I was going to say, is
Murder?
that kind of a smart,
No.
fun way to handle the
What if it's
character?
self-defense?
Then
It's
not murder.
it's a fun way to clean up the timeline, though.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff that could happen. Are we going to get, Magneto, the young Fassbender Magneto? Like, all this stuff is so interesting.
Is Chris Pratt going to show up riding a dinosaur like a motorcycle?
Wow.
Ooh.
I can't wait for that.
Yep.
And then lastly, I'll just say, if you like this kind of blathering, you'll love the blathering that happens on Ray Harrington Must content. That's
Yes.
my plug at the end here. I have a podcast.
I plugged it in the beginning, too.
Yeah, no, that's true. And these boys are both on the podcast occasionally.
That's right.
I say occasionally. You've both done one
Yes.
so far.
Yes. We're going to do more. I'm going
But
to do another
we've got
one.
a plan for more.
For sure.
Yeah.
And next time Ray wants to come to New York, we'll have a whole weekend of fun doing stuff,
I'm not going to do the webcam.
Ooh.
You keep telling me to do the webcam. I'm not doing the webcam. Wouldn't that be amazing if Chuck secretly, when he moved to New York, he just became like a cam boy?
Ooh, I would love that.
I'm doing a lot of work. What are you doing? Patreon.
Yes.
Why are you asking so much about circumcision?
Yeah. Well, it's because they said I can get like easy 30% more people coming through if I'm cut.
Watch my live circumcision. It's a pay-per-view, and Brad just has this super tiny guillotine.
Oh, it turns out.
Brad is a Black Hood.
Yeah, and it turns out the woman,
is this string.
the woman at the beginning of 8mm, the widow,
Yeah.
her husband was a mohel.
Well, it's the Nicolas Cage stuff of him
Yeah,
watching
he's
it.
like,
Then it cuts to what he's actually watching, and it's Brad with a tiny string and the black hat on and the black hood on, and I'm pushing it through the little guillotine hole. I like that a lot.
Nice.
Very little guillotine.
Do you have a smaller guillotine? Well, this one's for mice. Anyway, go ahead.
I need smaller.
You have one for like a rat.
I need
like a
guillotine, more like a guillotine.
Well, folks out there, if you have questions, comments, concerns, or otherwise, please send us an email, chuckandbrad@gmail.com, or find the email link through chuckandbradpodcast.com. Let us know who your favorite spider performer ever was, is,
Also-
or will be.
How about this? You can fade me out as I say that. How about this? All this talk about circumcision, right? And snipping the tip.
Yeah.
Why not do it a fun way? Like when a kid has a loose tooth and you tie it to the doorknob and slam the door. Why not do it that way? Are you ready?
I don't know if that's physically viable.
2,
I don't know. Hold on.
slam.
I don't know if my foreskin is loose enough yet. No, you're good.
If it's not, it will be.
I like that.
Thank you for joining us, Ray Harrington. We appreciate your essay.
Thanks for having me.
homework.
I appreciate
A
it.
lot of fun.
That's all I've got.
That's all I got.
Deuces.
We'll grind our teeth till it comes for you. There's no relief inside, no fracture to pull us through. The crosshairs, they've all locked in and out. Take aim, knowing that Rhode Island doesn't fall without a fight. Rhode Island doesn't fall without a fight. Our callous hands, they're callous to rejection, and we play on never changing our direction. Dear Tabitha, you've never left my head, but boys and girls, it's true. The Rhode Island music scene is far from dead. From every broken club, you'll hear us play. You'll never break us down while our lungs fill up with blood. We'll say, fucking explode, explode Rhode Island. From Providence out to Narragansett Bay. Explode Rhode Island. The village, oh, there's so much left to say. Explode Rhode Island. Will put us back up on the map. Explode Rhode Island. Fuck the world, 'cause the arson is back. This is our home. Our fans and family through all the rights and wrongs. Without them, there's no me. The cadence keeps much left to